Welcome to St. Louis, Missouri, the Trans World Dome, where the Carolina Panthers have won the toss and have elected to receive. This broadcast also available in Spanish by utilizing the SAP button on your television. As we look at the NFC West Division standings, you can see this is a battle for supremacy. I guess St. Louis 6-2, Carolina, they said if they win this one, they're back in the hunt. We'll find out about that as Jeff Wilkins has the ball teed up. Michael Bates along with Chris Hetherington deep to receive for the Carolina Panthers. Sellout crowd here in St. Louis. And we're underway. Michael Bates from a yard deep. Bates had a crack for a moment, takes it out to the 29, a 32-yard return. Todd Lyght made that special teams play. Carolina offense, 8th in the NFL. There was a flag on that kickoff, and it's in offsides against St. Louis, right? It's down there by that 30-yard line. Phil Luckett is the official, the referee today. Carolina has a choice, kick over or take the ball there.
Kicking team, number 58. The penalty is declined. First down.
Mike Morton offsides. Let's look at that Carolina offense now. 8th in the NFL in yardage produced. Steve Berline had an excellent game last week. Jones, Stoltenberg, Garcia, Redmond, and Terry up front. Fred Lane and William Floyd in the backfield. Muhammad and Jeffers the receivers. And Wesley Walls. 3 consecutive Pro Bowls starting at tight end, although Walls is a little bit banged up.
Come over the ball, guys. Come over the ball, guys.
They restart the play clock. Carolina 1st and 10 from the 29. This will be Fred Lane trying for it outside. He gets the corner. Lane picks up a first down all the way up to the 44-yard line, a gain of 14. St. Louis Rams defense is 7th in the NFL, number 1 against the rush, in large part due to this group. Wistrom, Farr, Agnew, and Kevin Carter having an outstanding season. Todd Collins, London Fletcher, Mike Jones, active linebackers. Dexter McLeon and Todd Lyght lit up last week against the Lions. They look to do better. Lyle and Jenkins are the safeties. No backs in the backfield on 1st and 10. Berline pumps, throws it inside on the slant route, and hooks up to Muhsin Muhammad for 9 yards.
You saw the Panthers start off there with a nice run by Fred Lane, and that's what they're going to have to do today. And that's going to open up that play right there, the pass. If they can run the ball, they'll do what is called speeding up the game. And they're going to keep the Rams offense, Kurt Warner, and all these weapons and a high-powered offense off the field.
See, Fred Lane's production has improved each week as he gets more chances. 2nd down and 1. Jeffers in motion. Berline setting up the screen.
What a catch.
This is Fred Lane. Lane goes nowhere. London Fletcher over with a big defensive play, and London Fletcher is all over the field.
Hey, London Fletcher, one of those short guys, and he's not afraid to tell you about it. But like you say, Ray, he's all over the field, and he's always around the ball and making a big play. You know, this is a huge game for the Panthers because not only does a win here keep them in the hunt for the playoffs, but they have to prove to themselves and everyone else that they can win back-to-back games, and especially go on the road and win back-to-back.
George Seifert has dominated the NFC West in his career. 3rd down and 4. Berline throws it outside. It's complete to Muhsin Muhammad. Muhammad with a first down all the way to the 36-yard line of the Rams, a gain of 15. Keith Lyle made the stop.
And those are the kind of plays the Panthers are going to have to win this game. And you see the guys involved like we talked in the open. Muhsin Muhammad right there, just going to come on a little out route, work it inside on Todd Lyght. Todd Lyght kept his eyes in the backfield a little bit too long. And then Muhsin, he can give you some problems. He's a bigger guy that has the ability to play inside and has a little quickness so he can make the moves from the inside to the outside and get separation and get open.
4 wide receivers on 1st down. Berline to throw quick again. Forces it inside to Muhammad one more time. His 3rd catch already, a gain of 4. Dre Bly in the mix, making the defensive play.
Look how quick the ball's coming out. And that's one thing that Gil Haskell, the offensive coordinator for the Panthers, has done to help Steve Beuerlein and this offense get going. You know, keep Beuerlein in a quick rhythm passing game. I guess that's the quote-unquote West Coast part of it. But that's where he's working best. And the second part of that is that it helps you from a protection standpoint. Your offensive line doesn't have to protect that long when the ball's coming out that fast.
Steve Beuerlein with the hot start on this, the 6th play of the drive. Walls in motion. Fred Lane on a trap. Lane shoots it up inside for a couple of yards. London Fletcher is there, and he's still there.
You know, Dick Vermeil got a little, I don't want to say hot, but he was very affirmative when I asked him, you know, what's happening with the team? Are you not pushing the ball up the field? He said, we're pushing the ball up the field. We're doing all that. And I'll tell you another thing. Our front 7 on defense is playing as good a football as anybody else, especially the defensive line. And if the Panthers are going to have success running the ball, sooner or later they're going to have to match up man for man and block their D-line. That play they had 2 tight ends in the game to try to do it. Now they're back in their spread formation.
3rd down and 3. This opening drive for the Carolina Panthers. Lane in motion. Beuerlein zips it out to his tight end, Wesley Walls. Walls with another 1st down, a gain of 8. Charlie Clements made the tackle.
See what you get bad matchups sometimes. Now, you spread people out, and Wesley Walls, he's a tight end, but boy, he's got wide receiver type moves. There he is there. Now he's working inside. Nobody's on him. They just catch the Rams in between coverages. I don't know if there was a bust there. Mike Jones looked like he widened out, and that's good awareness by Steve Beuerlein to see the uncovered receiver and just take what the defense gives you. Moving the chains.
Muhammad to the top, Jeffers and Metcalf to the bottom. Walls in motion on 1st and 10 from the 21. Fred Lane getting outside again. Picks up 6 yards. Dexter McCleon ran him out.
Now what Fred Lane will give you that you won't have with Tim Biakabatuka is a guy that will probably run into a brick wall 100 miles an hour.
And he does.
And he may not have the speed that Biakabatuka has. He may not have the size and all that kind of stuff as we look at Tim Biakabatuka there. But he will give you everything he's got every play.
Yeah, I don't think that Lane has the feel that Biakabatuka has, too, as far as sliding and finding the seam.
And that's why you see so much of Fred Lane's stuff in the last couple of plays here outside being very effective.
2nd down and 4. Play action. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Wesley Walls. His 7th of the year. He beat Todd Collins, the linebacker. That's the matchup Carolina wanted.
That's a huge statement by the Panthers. Opening drive, a perfect run-pass mix as far as I'm concerned, being called from Gil Haskell, the offensive coordinator. And once again, matchups. Wesley Walls working on the tight end. And that's pretty darn good coverage by Collins. That's perfect coverage, and it's a better throw.
Yeah.
A perfect throw by Steve Beuerlein.
John Casey on to attempt the extra point. Perfect on the year, 18 of 18. Make it 19 for 19. And the Carolina Panthers take the early lead, 7-0 with 9:38 left in the 1st quarter. Beuerlein to Walls.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl.
Carolina Panthers, that man Wesley Walls, his 7th touchdown of the season, 14 yards. It was a 9-play, 70-yard drive. Steve Beuerlein, 6 of 6, 47 yards. Starts out red hot.
The 2 guys that had to make the big plays that we talked about in the open made them on that drive. Walls and Muhsin Muhammad started off.
Casey's kick comes to Carpenter at the 3. Carpenter lit up at the 19-yard line. Mike Minter with the defensive stop, and the Rams will have the football when we come back.
There's Walls. He's just going to come right up the field. Look at the safety. The safety is going to help out over here. That means Collins, the linebacker, is man-to-man all by himself. This is just a good throw. I mean, Todd Collins is the Rams probably their best coverage linebacker. You can't be in a better position. He's in the hip pocket. Good job of separating from the line of scrimmage right off the bat by Wesley Walls. Wesley Walls always seems to have a good game against the Rams.
He has lit him up in the pass as Kurt Warner on 1st and 10 from the 20. Throws as he's hit. There's a flag down as he completes it to Marshall Faulk for a gain of 1. Mike Barrow with the coverage, but there is a flag. Hands to the face against the Carolina Panthers.
What a break.
So that'll move the ball 10 yards further down the field.
Illegal hands to the face, defense, number 90. That's a 5-yard penalty with an automatic first down.
Tim Morabito guilty of that. This Rams offense, the most prolific in the NFL, led by Kurt Warner out of the Arena League, having an outstanding season. Pace, Newton, Grudadoria, Timmerman, and Miller up front. In the backfield, Marshall Faulk having a great year. Holton Bruce, the receivers, and Roland Williams mans the tight end spot. First and 10 from the 25. It is complete and then dropped by Roland Williams. As Kurt Warner 0 for 1. The Carolina defense up front. Chuck Wiley, a second-year man, having a nice year. Gilbert, Morabito, and Antony Edwards in for the injured Jason Peter. Kevin Green, Dean Wells, and Mike Barrow, the linebackers. Doug Evans and Eric Davis, a couple of experienced corners. Minter and Alexander are the safeties. Second down and 10. Kevin Green ready to play out on the slot. He'll rush from out wide as Marshall Faulk finds room 5 yards up the middle. Mike Barrow makes the tackle along with Sean Gilbert and Tim Morabito.
It's interesting, Coach Dick Vermeil at the Rams talked about getting the run game going earlier. That would be the one thing he did different from the last couple of weeks, because the last couple of weeks they haven't run the ball well. Marshall Faulk had 15 yards rushing. Kurt Warner outrushed him, but yet he starts the game off with 2 passes. So, you know, once your bread and butter is one thing, which is throwing the ball down the field, it's a lot harder than you think, and people say, to get the ball in another direction.
3rd and 5, the Rams with an empty backfield.
No protection in the backfield.
Panthers blitz. The whistle goes and sounds before the snap. Kurt Warner may have ran out of time.
Delay of game, offense. 5-yard penalty remains, 3rd down.
The way to beat the St. Louis Rams is to not let them get off to the quick start. And that's exactly what Carolina's done so far. They've come out and they've gone down the field, they've scored. And you know how much time that's taken off the quarter? I mean, they've taken almost half the quarter. And they've made the Rams offense sit on the bench.
And you see that first quarter scoring, how important it is to the Rams. Those first 6 games they won. The last 2 they lost. 3rd and 10. Warner under pressure. Wide open over the middle is Marshall Faulk.
Alexander better get on his horse.
And Faulk gets all the way down to the Carolina 23-yard line before the safeties Alexander and Minter can run him down 52 yards.
And that's the problem that Marshall Faulk creates for him. You can't match up with them in the open field. Now here he is here. Remember, he's another wide receiver. Carolina decides to bring the pressure. They bring both linebackers. Somebody has got to cover Marshall Faulk. Damian Richardson was trailing, but you have to think about putting a corner on there. And you saw Isaac Bruce ran across that middle. He ran into somebody. Looked like a pick play.
1st and 10, Warner into the end zone. Touchdown, Isaac Bruce. 22 yards. Bruce's 10th touchdown catch of the year. He beat Eric Davis.
Like I said, the bread and butter for this team is throwing the football. 2 good pass plays. The second one is a score to the moneymaker, Isaac Bruce.
That is the most in the NFL, the 10 touchdown receptions, as the extra point from Jeff Wilkins is up and good. And we are all tied up here in St. Louis. Warner to Bruce. It's 7-7. And the Rams score again, the 5th time this year on the opening drive. They go down for 7 points, a 4-play, 80-yard drive. 35 points, the most in the NFL this year. Marshall Faulk, 53 yards receiving. And Isaac Bruce, the 22-yard touchdown reception.
I'm not so sure that Eric Davis didn't have help inside, or was supposed to have help inside by the safety Mentor, because he was playing an outside technique.
Wilkins kicks it deep to Michael Bates. Bates from the 4. And Bates is hit at the 20. Ball's up to the 21-yard line, a 16-yard return. Rookie Rich Cody makes the special teams play.
Bruce is just going to come up the field. Here he is and go in the post route. Watch this safety here. You know, this safety at the bottom is helping out, but Mentor, for some reason, disappears on the out with the tight end. I got to believe that if Eric Davis has no help in here, he's going to get in here and not hang outside. Whatever you want to call it, it ends up being 6 points for the Rams.
And they better tighten that up, or it'll be a long one for them.
Well, this is when you go to the sideline, you start talking about it.
Carolina starts their second possession, 1st and 10 from the 22. Steve Berline 6 for 6 on the day, hands it off to Fred Lane, and Lane runs into a wall in the form of Kevin Carter, gain of maybe 1.
He did, and Billy Jenkins was up there too. The Rams, knowing this part of the field, Carolina's going to be somewhat conservative, run the ball first. Look at Jenkins. He represents the 8th defender in that box. And what it does, it brings up a numbers problem for the offense. You see William Floyd trying to block 2 guys. That's not fair. You have to try to block Kevin Carter and Billy Jenkins. Kevin Carter alone is enough.
Anthony Johnson into the game in the backfield. He goes in motion on 2nd and 10. Berline scrambles out and now dumps it off to William Floyd, and Floyd tackled in midfield by Mike Jones. Gain of 4 on the play.
Pressure by the Rams still there. Kevin Carter, he's a guy that seems like he gets better every single year. He comes off the field right now for 3rd down, but I'm not so sure I wouldn't want to keep him on the field for 3rd down.
He may be shaken up, or
he
just
might be hurting a little bit.
Yeah, look at it. I think he's shooken up a little bit.
That's Jay Williams
coming in for Kevin Carter on 3rd down and 6. And the blitz comes. Berline with time. The ball's tipped, but it's caught by Muhsin Muhammad short of the 1st down. Dexter McLeon there with coverage.
Panthers offensive line got to protect from the blitz. Middle pressure is what's given them a lot of problems lately. And actually, the Rams blow the stunt. Clemens tried to loop one way and ran into DeMarco Farr, but nonetheless, Berline takes the hit. And the Rams get off the field. You see the way the Rams defense turned it up a notch just after the big score. They saw their offense go down. That's how your offense helps your whole team, helps everybody.
Akeem back to receive the punt from Ken Walter.
Yeah, that's an ugly one.
High short kick. Akeem on the run at the 40. Nowhere to go, forced out of bounds by Brent Alexander. A 33-yard punt, a 5-yard return. And the Rams get it back quick. We're all tied up in St. Louis.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By the United States Marine Corps, the change is forever. By Budweiser, delivered fresh daily from our local brewery near you. And by AT&T, 1 rate 7-cent plans, 1 simple rate, all day, every day.
Now the first drive, Carolina gets 7 points. St. Louis answers, 4 plays, 80 yards. And now they've got the football again, this time in excellent field position after the short punt. 1st and 10 from the 42. Akeem in the backfield. Screen. Warner.
Watch out.
Dumps it over to Ampli. And Ampli loses 2 yards. And right now we'll go to the Fox Network Center in Los Angeles. Here's JB with an NFL update.
Ray and Ron, take a look at Minnesota, Chicago. Bears on the board first. Jim Miller, 77-yard pass play to Marcus Robinson. That's right, a pass play, Terry Bradshaw, capitalizing on the Jeff George fumble. But Jeff George and Chris Carter hooked up, and it's all tied at 7. Back to Ray and Ron.
That might be one. That is the top division in the NFC as you see the standings. Detroit playing Arizona later on. Minnesota going at it with Chicago.
Miller might save the day, save the season up there for the Chicago Bears.
On 2nd and 12, play action from Warner, dumps it over the middle, and that is complete for 8 yards to his tight end, Roland Williams. Kurt Warner has been nothing but outstanding this season. Look at some of these names that he is catching up with. LaMonica, Unitas, Ball, Luckman. These are legendary football names, Hall of Famers, all of them. Dan Marino, and now Kurt Warner, and that's 25 now.
Yeah, I think he's done a pretty good job of catching up. He's passed him.
Warner faces a 3rd down and 5 out of the shotgun. Low snap. Holds it. Escapes the rush. Warner throws it downfield short, incomplete. He was looking for Ricky Prohl. Good coverage from the Carolina secondary.
If there's one thing that Warner needs to get better at, that's not holding the ball so much in the pocket. And then when he holds it, he tends to hold it a little low. But there is a reason here. Pretty good coverage down the field by Carolina secondary. Great coverage. And you got a safety deep. And that'll make you hold the ball. But Dick Vermeil said, I would like to see him not take the sack, somehow get the ball out of there. He got out of there that time.
Mike Horan picked up this week to replace the injured Rick Tootin. Gets off his first punt of the season. It's a good one. Metcalf from the 8-yard line. Metcalf up to the 19, an 11-yard return after a 45-yard punt. And the Carolina Panthers will take over as Kurt Warner tries to figure it out. Ray Bentley and Ron Pitts here in St. Louis, tied up 7-7. Kevin Carter, who went out of the game in that last series, back in the lineup. Carter, 3 sacks last week against Detroit, has 7 on the year, and if you're keeping up with that 95 draft, he's the only one out of there to start every game of his career, 73. 1st and 10 for the Panthers from their own 20-yard line. Two tight ends as Brian Kinchin and Wesley Walls line up on each side. Fred Lane out of the I formation, trying to get that corner again.
Wow.
He'll get 8 yards.
Did you see the block by William Floyd on Todd Lyght? You know, it's funny, before the game I was talking to Eric Davis about getting rolled up by somebody coming around that corner. He took a shot by Dermontti Dawson. Randall McDaniel rolled me up one day. Watch bar none. He's going to come around the corner, and he's looking for a little face, and he gets some.
He cut off London Fletcher. He got 2 of them.
Yeah, he got 2. That's what you call shortening the corner. That's a late hit. They don't call it.
Fred Lane, 5 carries, 32 yards. It's 2nd and 1. Floyd alone in the backfield. He'll take it on the draw. William Floyd. He can block, and now he shows you he can run up to the 40-yard line, a gain of 11.
Nice awareness there by William Floyd. DeMarco Farr was so quick in the backfield. The Rams got somebody hurt. He was so quick in the backfield. Floyd had to make a decision, made it, and then broke a tackle.
It's Taji Allen down on the turf. Nickel cornerback for the Rams.
You know, the Panthers have given the Rams some matchup problems as well. Everybody talks about the Rams and their multi-formations and all that, but look at Carolina. They're spreading some people out. This injury here could be key for them. Allen, another corner, 5th corner coming in the game. They need him.
Yeah, that would bring Dre Bly in for him as the man who would replace him as we take a look at the hit.
There's Allen.
He drops his head and takes that.
You can see he got that knee.
That thigh right to the top of the head.
And you know, that's I don't know if it's the head or the knee. See, that's another reason that you bring your feet and you drive and you accelerate to the hit. I think he just got the bell rung there.
Ding.
William Floyd wears thigh pads for a reason, so he can give you a headache.
Big old thigh pads covering up big thighs, and Taji Allen gets up. He looks like he's got some cobwebs, but he gets back out onto the sidelines, walking around. First and 10 from the 40. Berline Dumps it outside to Fred Lane. Lane breaks one tackle up past the 45 to the 49-yard line. Grant Wistrom makes a hustling play. And right now, let's go to the Fox Network Center. Here's JB.
Ray and Ron scoring taking place in Philadelphia. Take a look at Brad Johnson of the Skins out of the shotgun on the crossing pattern. Finds Albert Connell, 54 yards. That made it 14-3 Skins. But the Eagles, Allen Rossum, returned the kick 89 yards. It's now 14-10 Skins in the first. Back to Ray and Ron.
Redskins' problem is not offense. Their problem is defense.
Well, they get into a lot of shootouts. 2nd and 1. Steve Berline perfect on the day, 9 for 9. And they'll hand this off to Fred Lane, and Lane spins his way for a first down. Gain of 6. Tackle made by Jay Williams.
Couple good matchups you're going to see out there today. Kevin Carter working on the rookie Chris Terry. That's going to be key from a pass rush standpoint. Now, Kevin Carter has told people, I am not anywhere near where I need to be in my game, even though a lot of people think he's playing great football right now. He said, I got to get better. I got to get better at my pass rush moves. I just have to be a better football player.
1st and 10. The Panthers spread it out. No backs in the backfield. Lane in motion. Here comes a blitz. And this is intercepted. And that's Todd Lyght.
That's 6.
And Todd Lyght will go the distance. 56 yards, an interception return for a touchdown.
They're going to fight over that one.
Fourth interception of the year for Todd Lyght. Berline threw it right to him.
The quick game had been good for the Panthers the last couple series. That time, Todd Lyght jumps right in front of it.
They'll bring on Wilkins for the extra point, and that is good. And it is now St. Louis 14, Carolina 7.
That's Todd Lyght working in there on Patrick Jeffers. Look at the jam. Boy, that's where he ate him up. And I don't know if Berline thought Jeffers was going to keep trying to come inside for the slant or go up the field, but the bottom line is that Todd Lyght ate Jeffers up at the line of scrimmage, and that's what Jeffers had been having a lot of problem with. Bump and run. He's a big, tall guy, and a lot of times big, tall guys give you a big, tall target, too. Todd Lyght knew that. He took advantage of it. That's what you call making your own play. He not only shuts down the route, finds the ball, intercepts the ball, and then takes it for 6.
3rd career touchdown for Todd Lyght. Wakes this Rams crowd up. St. Louis trailed 7-0 after the first Carolina drive. They answered back on offense, and now they answer on defense. They lead 14-7. That's their first takeaway in the last 3 games, and it pays off. Wilkins kicks it to the corner. Michael Bates from the 7. Bates works his way up to the 27. Mike Morton makes a special teams play. 20-yard return for Bates. So with just 5 seconds left here in the first quarter, the Rams up 14-7. Carolina with the football.
Funny thing about that Todd Lyght play there, Bud Carson, the former defensive coordinator here, been around the league a long time, now retired. He's the one who came here to St. Louis and originally moved Todd Lyght inside. He felt that he could be around the ball, would have a chance to make more plays playing that inside corner position. And there's a pretty good example of it right there.
Steve Berline, 9 of 10 on the day. On 1st and 10, the blitz comes. Billy Jenkins misses Fred Lane. Lane gets back to the line of scrimmage where Jeff Scanina makes the tackle, and that's the end of the first quarter. The score, the Rams 14, the Panthers 7. And it started out a Wesley Walls touchdown. The Rams answer back with Isaac Bruce. The difference to Todd Lyght, interception return for the touchdown. Welcome back to St. Louis. The Rams 14-7 over Carolina. Panthers football, 2nd down and 9 from their own 28-yard line. Steve Berline, who started out red hot, his last pass, an interception to Todd Lyght for the touchdown as Walls backs off and goes into motion. Play action, pressure. Berline will be sacked. Kevin Carter, his 8th sack of the year.
Carter's going to get the sack, but the guy that made it happen was DeMarco Farr, and he did it by penetration. Remember we talked about that in the open? Watch how fast he is off the ball. Boom. You see what he did with his hands there on Stoltenberg? Stoltenberg never got in position to leverage. And then you have to watch the coverage down the field. That's Dre Bly. He's coming in, subbing for Allen, doing a pretty good job on Muhsin Muhammad.
Dre Bly, the rookie out of North Carolina.
Rams got a problem. You know what
The Rams take a timeout. They didn't like what they had going. We'll take a timeout as well. It'll be 3rd and 13 when we come back to St. Louis.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Toyota Trucks, unbreakable every day. By E-Trade, the #1 place to invest online. By Pizza Hut, home of the stuffed crust pizza, another one of the best pizzas under one roof. And by Gateway, connect with us.
3rd down and 14 for the Carolina Panthers. The Rams bring in their nickel defense. Taji Allen banged up earlier. Dre Bly will take over for him at that right corner. Allen, a sprained neck. They took him in for x-rays. Anthony Johnson in the backfield. Berline. Back to throw with time over the middle. He's got Patrick Jeffers, but Jeffers will be tackled short of the 1st down. He got 11, but Billy Jenkins got him, and the Panthers will have to punt.
The thing that hurts the Panthers is they don't have enough receivers, deep receivers, to go down the field. That's why they don't push the ball up the field. Second reason they don't push it up the field, they don't feel they can protect deep drops by the quarterback. That's why you see everything 3, 5-step drop and no 7-step.
Walter, high hanging punt to Hakeem. Hakeem takes it at his 20, stumbles back to the 19, and then is covered up immediately. A 44-yard kick. Michael Bates makes the special teams play, and the Rams, with the lead, have the football. The Carolina Panthers have controlled the clock, run off 20 plays. They have 7 points to show for it. St. Louis, this is their 3rd possession. They've run only 7 plays.
Yeah, well, that shows you what happens in a big play game, and that's what the Rams have been this year. The defense hasn't been out in the field hardly, but they've been able to hit the big ones and turn them into scores on offense and defense.
Marshall Faulk alone in the backfield with 2 tight ends. This is Robinson in motion. Faulk on the toss. Shakes Michael Barrow, but Sean Gilbert makes the tackle. And game 2 of our doubleheader today will be the Packers and the Cowboys, except those of you in St. Louis. The rest of you will see this, and I'll tell you, it's a great one when the 2 most dominant teams of the 90s clash. Brett Favre and the Packers try to shut down the Cowboys. Some of you will see the Lions battle the Cardinals. All coming up next right here on Fox, and you see these quarterbacks, and Brett Favre is just amazing. He'll start his 118th game this afternoon at 4 o'clock. 2nd and 9. Warner throws it outside, and that is complete for a 1st down. He hit the rookie Torrey Holt for 11.
Yeah, you know why this play works? You know, forget all about Warner and the arm and the weapons. This works because of protection. Watch here. Watch this group of guys. Watch how long they hold out the white shirts. Timmerman working on Gilbert. I mean, that's nothing. He has got no shot against the quarterback, and this is why you can throw 20-yard comeback routes. And a lot of that the Rams help themselves by formation. It's hard to get extra bodies in there blitzing when you spread people out.
1st and 10, play action default. Warner under pressure from Gilbert has to tuck it away, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage before Gilbert tracks him down.
Nice play in the secondary. That's a coverage sack all the way. Brent Alexander did a good job of picking up Isaac Bruce on the drag. That's who Warner was looking for.
Looks like there's a Carolina Panther down on the field after that play. That's Sean Gilbert. Gilbert's having a pretty good season.
Yeah, he is. He's gotten his pop back. Sean used to be so good the first 2 or 3 steps, and the quick penetration coming off low. He's gotten that back this year. There's Gilbert right there. That's another good battle. Him working against Timmerman. That time he swims and he beats Timmerman. I think that the injury happens right about here. I think he ran into his own guy.
Hit that turf pretty hard. It's a belly flop onto the turf, but Gilbert up, walking off the field.
They need Gilbert back in the game as soon as he can get in there. Rick Gilbert still represents their best chance of inside penetration on this D-line.
Rick Terry comes in for Sean Gilbert on 2nd down and 8. The Rams shift again.
That's an option.
Hakeem running the option out of the backfield.
Hey, the Rams have got a couple new wrinkles in this offense. They got their little flip 90 play that they just toss the ball to Marshall Faulk. Here, Hakeem's going to come by, and they're going to run an option between these two guys. Basically, Hakeem was the quarterback.
Yeah, he was an option quarterback in high school.
Yeah, he should have pitched the ball.
He's a little rusty on that.
Yeah, he's a little small, too, to be taking those hits at option quarterback.
Hakeem, 5'10", 178 pounds. And the word on Sean Gilbert, he has a burner, a stinger, and they expect that he'll be back. 3rd and 7. Warner with time, dumps it over the middle to Isaac Bruce. Bruce picks up the 1st down. 15 yards on the play.
Kevin Green here working on Fred Miller. Now, Miller has had trouble with the outside speed guys. So what does Kevin do? He knows that and he decides to bull rush him, but Miller holds strong. Coming across the middle right there. You see what happened there? That's why as a receiver you have to keep moving. Now the play was shut down. Warner didn't have a place to go. Ike Bruce kept running and running across the formation and made the play.
Sean Gilbert back into the ball game. 1st and 10. Marshall Faulk nowhere to go. Mike Barrow hits him first. Loss of 1 on the play, and right now let's head to the Fox Network Center for an NFL update. Here's JB.
Ray and Ron, San Francisco continuing to struggle. Take a look at Billy Joe Tolliver. Play action to Ricky Williams. 2nd keeper of the game by Billy Joe Tolliver. He scores. It's now 14-3. Saints over the Niners. Back to Ray Bentley and Ron Pitts.
Thank you, JB. And Ricky Williams yet to get his first touchdown. Tolliver has a couple today.
Yeah, but Iron Mike might get a win down there. You just kind of smell that one coming.
2nd and 12. Hakeem in motion. Warner, it breaks down. Now he throws it outside. He's got a wide open tight end, Roland Williams, and he crawls for the 1st down.
Did you see the pickup there by Marshall Faulk? You talk about this guy being able to run the ball and then catching the ball. He can also stand in there and pick up the blitz. And if he doesn't make this block, Kurt Warner gets sacked on this play. Watch Faulk 28. That's a protection on the other side there. But Faulk stepped to the left and picked up Wells coming in. Watch this. Boom. Buys a few more seconds. A nice little trip move by somebody there.
1st and 10. The Rams, the Carolina 42. Marshall Faulk finds a gap up the middle. Down to the 34-yard line. A gain of 7. Mike Rucker makes the tackle.
Mike Martz, the offensive coordinator, you can see he's in that run mode now. He's got a little bit of cushion, got some points at his back, coming into the red zone, the red area. Martz right there, the offensive coordinator. And really, Marshall Faulk has had more success when the Rams spread people out. And they still do that. Look at the formation here. That's just regular people, but the way they started out made it look like 3 wide, trip wide receivers.
Now they spread it out again with Faulk and Holcomb, the fullback. works his way up close to the first down. Tim Morabito along with Sean Gilbert making the stop. And they were talking about Marshall Faulk. Kurt Warner was, and he says he sees the same things I see. So one thing he doesn't get the respect is his intelligence and what a smart football player he is.
Yeah, and that's part of that veteran leadership. You remember the play, I believe it was in Tennessee, where Hakeem caught the ball, time was running out, and Hakeem actually got hurt. Faulk ran over, grabbed him, and picked him up because they couldn't afford to get a 10-second run-off. Those are the kind of things, that's called veteran leadership.
3rd and 1. And the flags are out, and the whistles blow before the snap. And it's a false start on St. Louis.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 86. This is a 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
Tight end Roland Williams guilty.
We're talking about what Faulk can do to you just moving. This is the play before. The fact that he even goes in motion, you got 2 guys on defense that move with him. That's pretty good scheme if you're an offensive coordinator. You like that.
Get him out of that middle and then hammer the fullback, which is exactly what St. Louis did. With the penalty now, 3rd down and 6. 4 wide receivers. Roll in motion. Here comes the blitz. Warner throws it out quick, and that's complete to Ricky Prohl. 1st down, a gain of 9.
Boy, here they go. Mike Brudadoria and Barrow getting after it. If you're going to throw it quick and you're going to spread it out, you got to be able to pick up the pressure. They come from around the outside. Swift coming real late. You're not going to get there coming that late. And they throw the ball quick. That helps. That's another thing about Kurt Warner. You know, for a guy that hasn't had that much NFL experience, but has had a lot of football experience, he knows where to go with the football. Nothing is a surprise to him.
11th play of the drive. 1st and 10. Warner to the end zone. Incomplete. Looking for Ike Bruce. No flag.
The feet got tangled up as Bruce went to the post.
Boy, the fans wanted a call on that.
The Panthers had 2 guys on him. Now here's Bruce in motion. You move him to avoid double teams. Boy, and he had, and see, as long as that defender's looking at the ball, he's got a fair shot to go after it. That's his incidental foot contact there.
2nd and 10. Faulk picks up 5 yards. Brent Alexander makes the tackle.
I think Marshall Faulk has gotten better. You look at him in the open field, and I don't remember him having these kind of moves in the open field that he had, you know, like in Indianapolis.
And Kevin Green talked to us about that as well. He said Marshall Faulk, and Green got all excited about it. He said, man, this guy has taken it up to another level.
He has, and you know, that play, you know, he's running up the middle there, up the gut, but he's definitely gone to another level.
3rd down and 5. Hakeem in motion. Warner out quick to Hakeem. Works back inside, picks up the 1st down. A gain of 6. Damian Richardson makes the tackle.
What you're seeing now is some of that quick rhythm passing game, and you know, a lot of people talk about where does that come from. Well, it goes all the way back. You have to go all the way back to the LA Chargers in the old AFL. That's Sid Gilman. You know, that's some of the things he believed in. Not only a multiplicity of formations and adjustments and personnel changes, but also throwing the ball, getting it out on rhythm and timing. I think other offenses spawned off that. The West Coast, the Bill Walsh's offense. 2 different offenses there, that kind of thing. Paul Brown in his days with the Browns and quick passing. Well, that's either some kind of signal or he's being friendly to the people in the section behind us.
Getting ready to go to a movie. He's picking his seat.
One of the 2.
7 different receivers have caught passes for Kurt Warner now on 1st and 10. With time to the corner of the end zone. Williams, touchdown. Roland Williams, 19 yards. Kurt Warner's 2nd touchdown toss of the day.
Rams will tell you that, yeah, they miss Ernie Conwell. But I'm going to tell you right now, Roland Williams has done a pretty darn good job.
Wilkins on to kick the extra point, and he does, and it is now the Rams 21, Carolina 7. Roland Williams, 4th touchdown of the year, puts the Rams up by 14.
Here's Williams right here. He's just going to work up the seam between these two guys. Somebody has got to cover the tight end. Actually works out to the corner. I think they just have a bust, and that's not the first bust that the Panthers have had defensing the pass today.
Kurt Warner, 2 touchdown passes today, 26 now on the season, leading the NFL. It's Wilkins hits this to Michael Bates. Bates from the 1. Bates gets it outside. He's got the speed. Todd Lyght forces him out at the 41-yard line. A 40-yard return for Michael Bates. Carolina will start out this drive in excellent field position. St. Louis Rams now have 20 drives over 70 yards this year, 2 today, including that last one. 14 plays capped off by Kurt Warner's 26th touchdown pass of the year to Roland Williams, and another big day for Kurt Warner. Carolina needs to answer on this drive. They start at their own 42, 1st and 10. Empty backfield. Berline with pressure, tries to hit it inside to Anthony Johnson, incomplete. Pressure coming from Kevin Carter.
Carter working on that outside, getting some penetration. You saw nothing but blue shirts in Berline's face that play.
That little scheme going.
There's Carter on this inside. Now he's pushed down inside on the inside shade there of that tight end. They got a little stunt going, and the stunt works. Anthony Redmond looked like he didn't have a clue it was coming.
He whiffed.
This is a huge drive for the Carolina Panthers. The way the Rams have been able to score, the Panthers have to get something going on this drive. We're going to stay in this game.
2nd and 10. They hand this off to Fred Lane, and Lane gets 2 yards. DeMarco Farr with the defense.
I thought Carolina got away from their spread formations a little early. You know, you saw that first series. They opened it up. Yeah, they had 4 wide-out type personnel in the game. They spread out walls. They put Musin inside. And they were just hitting quick stuff there and making plays. And not only that, because you spread people out, that kept the linebackers from blitzing. But then they closed it down. I think that's where they got in trouble. That was a play that Berline threw the interception. Everything was closed down. A good job of jamming by Todd Lyght, though.
3rd down and 8. Panthers 2 of 4 on 3rd down this afternoon. The blitz comes.
DeMarco Farr
came flag down. This play won't count.
Whew. Either DeMarco Farr got the jump of life, or he was offsides.
Well, he's pointing the other direction, blaming it on Carolina. We'll see what Phil Luckett says.
Prior to the snap, delay of game offense. 5-yard penalty remains. 3rd down.
Berline didn't get the snap off in time.
That's what happens when you're away, 3rd down, loud stadiums. The quarterback has to call the play more than once in the huddle, maybe a 3rd time so you can just hear it. Got to talk a little slower. All that does is take time off the play clock.
So with the penalty, 3rd down and 13. Hayes and Metcalf to the top. Jeffers and Muhammad to the bottom. Anthony Johnson in the backfield. See if the Rams blitz again, and they don't. Berline going downfield, looking for Donald Hayes, incomplete. Nice defense by Dexter McCleon.
And you knew McCleon would be the guy they're going to go after. McCleon, of course, the one who gave up that 4th and 26 up in Detroit at the last minute. And this is something the Panthers don't do. Partly because they don't have the people to push it up the field like they would like. Heck, Donald has to become the defender on that play.
He knocked it away as Ken Walter on for his 3rd punt of the day. Akeem Back at his 25-yard line. Akeem, he's got the punter to beat, and Walter does a nice job of making the tackle, but not until Akeem picks up 20 yards on the return on a 36-yard punt, and St. Louis has the football in Carolina territory.
Walter made a very admirable hit on that play. And this is what Akeem has done for this team all year. Now they lose one guy. They lose Tony Horn, a great specialist, and then they have one here.
Not a bad hit for a punter.
Great hit.
Yeah, I guess for a punter, that'd be a great one.
We talk about special teams being key. This is the area that's been key for these guys all year long. Just when they've been in that flux situation, you know, the gray area, they've been able to make a big play at special teams.
Warner on first down, throws it out to Ike Bruce. Bruce beats Evans outside for 6 yards.
Panthers defensively trying to get dialed into a new system, and just talking to some of the guys, Ray, I don't know that everybody's on that same page. And you know, Eric Davis a couple weeks ago, he had to have a little talk with some people. Things got a little heated up. Not only were they giving up deep balls, but just in general, getting everybody on the same page in John Marshall's defense.
Davis said, hey, we just needed to talk. We're all grown men. We should be able to talk to each other. 2nd and 4. Holcomb motions out of the backfield. Warner goes to him. Robert Holcomb with the catch. Fumbled it. Look at a live ball. This is going the other way with Mike Minter. And Kurt Warner has to force Minter out of bounds at the Rams' 42-yard line.
Wow.
Mike Barrow popped it out. Minter picked it up.
You want to talk about how fast things change in the NFL. The Rams across the 50 come with a great play. They motion out. Holcomb, throw him the ball. He's wide open. Got a matchup on the linebacker out there. Look at this. The Falk's inside. They got a safety on him. But this is everything you want. And now, how many times have you seen a ball get knocked out that close to the sideline and bounce back
Come inside. I know.
I've never seen it. Good job by Kurt Warner. That's 6 for sure if he's not there.
So the Panthers,
huge play for Carolina,
get a much-needed break. They go 1st and 10 from the Rams' 43.
And usually in sudden change situations like this, offenses will go downtown.
Berline stumbles, play action, looking downtown. Nothing's open.
Get out of there.
And now he'll be sacked. That's London Fletcher coming out of coverage to sack Berline.
Look at your guy, London Fletcher. And we got to clear something up. London Fletcher didn't exactly come into the meeting last week with Matt Millen, Dick Stockton, and say, I am the greatest linebacker to ever play the game. He was coaxed into it a little bit.
Yeah, they set him up.
Watch the protection over here on this side. Jeffers trying to get up the field on Lyght. Nothing. That's not even close. McLeon working on Muhsin Muhammad. Nobody is getting deep. Nobody can outrun the corners in that secondary.
2nd and 11. Leslie Walls, when in doubt, throw it to the Pro Bowler. He gets up to the 29-yard line. Pick up a 14, brought down by Fletcher.
The best part about Wesley Walls is that in-between guy. You have to treat him like a wide receiver. He's going to beat your linebackers, and people look at the film, they don't believe that. You got to either put a very good covering strong safety on him or a corner. Then you have a matchup problem.
Walls now with 202 career receptions as a Panther. That's their all-time best. Is Fred Lane on 1st and 10. Flag down as Lane picks up 2 yards. DeMarco Farr picks him up. Holding on the Panthers.
I think they got Clarence Jones.
Jones, a former Ram, was here in St. Louis at 94 and 95.
Holding, offense number 75. 10-yard penalty remains, 1st down.
Clarence has been struggling. He's had that left knee bother him. And he's declined to make any excuses. You like that part about him.
See the tape on that knee.
Got it wrapped up.
And that brings us to our 2-minute warning here in St. Louis. The score, the Rams 21, the Panthers 7. We'll be back in just a moment. Kurt Warner having one heck of a day again. A couple of touchdown passes. This one to Isaac Bruce to tie it at 7. This one to Roland Williams to give the Rams their 21-7 lead in this ball game. And Carolina, who scored in their first drive, took that 7-0 lead. Now in a desperate situation to get back in this game. 1st and 20 from the Rams 39, as you see Kurt Warner conversing with Trent Green. Green was the expected starter, tore knee ligaments in preseason, and Kurt Warner has stepped in and done a great job. Pressure on Berline, goes downfield for Muhammad. Muhsin Muhammad inside the 10. He beat Dre Bly.
You know what? The Rams didn't line up right away. They had problems getting lined up, and whenever you do that, most of the time you get burned. And then they went on Dre Bly. They went on probably the least experienced guy out there.
Swing and a miss on the jam.
You can't whip at the line and bump and run. Good recovery by Bly, and the ball's underthrown. If Berline could throw this ball out there, put it up where it should be, Muhsin's going to walk in for the touchdown. This is the area where Carolina has had problems. And this is also the area where you have to be what they're not right now, and that's a very good running team.
Ball's in motion. Berline with pressure. He's sacked again by Carter. DeMarco Farr in there as well.
There's strike number 1.
Well, he was looking for Wesley Walls the whole way, and he was covered up. And now the Panthers use their first time out of the first half.
Walls has been very good down here in past years, but the problem is it's too easy to take one guy away because you're so limited to where you can throw, at least vertically. And that's where he excels at. And that's why I say you have to be able to run the ball down here a little bit. And as the Panthers move closer to the goal line, it just gets worse for them.
Walls caught a touchdown pass in the first quarter on the first drive, breaking a 3-game drought for him. And that last sack, they're going to split it between Carter and Farr.
And also, if you're George Seifert, if you're Gil Haskell, the offensive coordinator, you're telling your quarterback, listen, whatever happens, we want to take a shot in the end zone, yes, but we cannot come away with no points here. Even if it's only 3. Gil Haskell right there.
So it's 2nd down and goal from the 15. Berline to throw. Pressure again. He gets away from Carter.
Well, that's some good dancing by Berline.
He's not a big dancer. Dances up to the 5-yard line.
You see that little move there? He came with the fake pass well beyond the line of scrimmage, and they went for it.
Carolina uses their 2nd timeout. 51 seconds left to play here in the first half.
Those are the kind of moves that when you watch that on film on Monday, you kick yourself for going for it. Did you ever go for one of those?
Oh, yeah. I always jumping up in the air on those.
Now, he gets his dancing shoes on here. Look at the mouth.
Yeah, he gave the whole deal.
You know what, Newt Rockney would have been proud of that. That was very Domerish. Wesley Walls down here.
And he was open.
Well, he sure looked like it. But you know, when you're in a sweat and the boys are coming down your back, you don't see all that good stuff down there.
No, you get your dancing shoes on and get out of there. Carolina has had a horrible go of it rushing the football in the red zone.
And knowing that, I would be shocked if they tried to run it here this far out. It's 3rd down.
You see those rush yards. Berline had 9 on that carry. So you take that and do the math. They were -1 yard in 21 attempts in the red zone and rushing. It has not been good for the Panthers. And here they are, 3rd and goal from the 6. Johnson motions out of the backfield.
No run now.
Berline to Johnson, knocked away.
Play. Great
Billy
play.
Jenkins.
Billy Jenkins, a strong safety, being asked to go out and cover man-to-man. That's why you have to have safety people, inside people nowadays that have the ability to cover on the corner. Now, granted, he's going up against a running back, but that's just a great play.
Well, it could have been caught,
Times
too.
it up. And let's see what he does with his left hand.
That's where he rips it out.
I think that's simultaneous. He keeps that left hand, Johnson's left hand, from coming around and cradling the ball.
And John Casey on to kick the 24-yarder, and he does. So Carolina does get points off the turnover. It's now 21-10 St. Louis.
It wasn't easy, but the play that made it happen was pushing the ball vertical to Muhsin Muhammad. Look for more of that in the second half by Carolina. They haven't done it, but they're going to have to try to do more of it, especially if they can't get the run game going. But you know, in the first quarter, they did have the run working early. But a lot of times defenses will play vanilla on you to see where you're going, break into their stuff, and that's why it shuts things down. And I think the Rams did a little of that.
Stay tuned. Coming up, the Visa halftime report. JV, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league. And our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats, all coming up on the Visa halftime report. There's Muhsin Muhammad talking to George Seifert. I'm sure he's saying exactly what you were saying. Send me down the field. I'm working on a rookie, at least when they get into that dime and nickel package. Match him up with Dre Bly and see what he can do.
Yeah, and there was a big turnover, too, that really started all off. That was the play, but the turnover, drop ball by Holcomb.
Carpenter from the 6. Has room outside. Carpenter, who is 6th in the NFL in kickoff returns, gets 28 on that. Chris Hetherington with the special teams tackle for Carolina.
It's amazing where Frank Gantz, the special teams coach, where he keeps pulling guys out to run the ball for his kickoff returns and punt returns. I mean, he's got about 3 or 4 guys deep that can do it, and that's with one guy suspended. And he'll be back next week, Tony Horn.
Crash, they call him.
Frank Gant's been around the NFL a long time.
Well, you can see the drop-off, too, with Tony Horn out. They will welcome him back next week. We welcome Kurt Warner back under center. 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. 39 seconds to work with in 2 timeouts. Warner will go to the air.
There's Bruce. He didn't get enough on it.
One towards Isaac Bruce, and that's going to be intercepted by Eric Davis. Davis' first interception of the year
by Kurt Warner. Now you're going to give Carolina the ball back. You're on the other side of the 50, but you're going to give them another shot.
And you'll need about 25 yards to get into field goal range for John Casey, who has a career long of 56. Hit a 52-yarder already this year.
Carolina still has 1 timeout left.
And that was an ill-advised throw. You haven't seen Kurt Warner make that mistake much all year.
Absolutely.
Just his 6th interception of the season. You can see he's not too happy about it, but Eric Davis is happy. His first interception of the season, and just the 2nd interception of the year by a starting defensive back for Carolina.
They got the matchup again at the bottom here. Muhsin working on Dre Bly.
Johnson in motion.
I think they're going to help out Bly.
Burline to be sacked again. Kevin Carter, 2.5 sacks today. He had 3 last week.
Burline didn't get the same coverage he thought he would get. Safety stayed deep. They helped out the corners. Kevin Carter.
Carolina uses their final timeout. Carter now with 9.5 sacks on the year.
You know what? Kevin Carter has been a pretty underrated defensive end for a long time. When you don't win, you don't get that kind of pub. He's going to be up top here.
That inside move again.
And he just keeps coming. I mean, this is all coverage here. He keeps coming. This Rams defensive line plays great as a unit. You can't say that, well, we can't block each individual guy, because I think some people can, but when it comes to stunts and just playing together well, they do that.
So Carolina, no more timeouts. 2nd and 17 from their own 34. They go with 4 wide receivers. Press coverage from the Rams.
Notice the Rams went into a little different look this time.
Anthony Johnson on a draw. Johnson stays alive outside, stumbles his way into Ram territory all the way up to the 43-yard line. Clock is ticking. They'll need to down this football and see if they can get off another play.
Johnson cannot lay around there. He's got to somehow get lined up.
Berline's trying to get everybody set. And he's not going to get it done. That's it. Did not get the ball grounded in time. However, Phil Luckett's going to wave this off, and maybe he's going to give him another play.
They might have one.
Boy, it took a long time for the officials to get the ball set. They actually set it up on the college hash initially, and then had to move it back into the pro hash as there's double hash marks. But the Rams seem to believe halftime is here.
Out on the snap. That is the end of the half.
That is the end of the first half of the score. The Rams.
So Dick Vermeil heads in with a 21-10 halftime lead. Stay tuned. The Visa halftime report coming up, all after a word from your local Fox station.
The Visa halftime report is brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
And welcome to the Visa halftime full house here in Indy. Let's get you caught up on the action in St. Louis. Kurt Warner and Isaac Bruce doing it again.
Kurt Warner, man, hey, throw 3 today. Kurt, you'll have an 8-3 game, touchdown pass game already this year. Well, get us started with Isaac Bruce. 22-yarder, you got it. Rams and Carolina tied up. Todd Lyght, those steps in front of Steve Berline, who's off to a great season, over 2,000 yards passing. But this looks too good for the Rams. Warner will throw another touchdown pass, and it's 21-10 right now. Rams over Panthers.
Mike Ditka and Steve Mariucci.
There you go. Get those flies out of my way. Billy Joe Tolliver says, I show you a fly. It's called a fly route, a deep route. Down the middle he goes, post route, beyond the safeties, and there's Zach Robson to knock Keith Poole's helmet off. Keith Poole says, great shot, nice catch. Okay, Billy Joe Tolliver, he scores. It's 7-0 to New Orleans. Play action at the goal line. Run, pass. They drop deep. Billy Joe goes to the outside. Touchdown, Saints, looking awfully good. First half, 14-6, 49ers.
Dennis Green welcoming Robert Smith back to the fold.
Robert, how you doing? Good to have you back. How's you growing? Jeff George looking left, turns, fires right, guns this one in there. 21-yard touchdown pass. Chris Carter, he beats Tony Parrish, number 37. Back comes Jim Miller out of the NFL Europe. Looks very much like Johnny Unitas. You got it. Johnny was cut by the Steelers, went on to become a Hall of Famer. He hits this man right here, Marty Booker out of Northeast Louisiana, touchdown, 57 yards. Then back come the Minnesota Vikings. Chris Carter catches 110th touchdown, his 110th touchdown to score. He moves into 8th place all-time, passing Barry Sanders 17-14. Bears over the Vikings. Donovan McNabb, rookie out of Syracuse, first start. But let's get this started by watching Brad Johnson. Crossing route. Albert Connell comes underneath the linebackers, hits a little pass, nothing to it. 54 yards later and all that speed. Touchdown, 14-13 Redskins. And then on the ensuing kickoff, Allen Rossum takes the kickoff. He goes 89 yards. Howard Long used to run like this before he got all beat up. Touchdown. And then back comes Stephen Davis. And everybody in this studio went crazy because they're Redskins fans. And the Redskins are up 21-13.
How he's all beat up?
Yeah, he's beat up. You ever see his toes and his ankles? And
Giants 33 passing yards in the first half there. Miami trailing Buffalo big up there at Orchard Park. Tampa Bay with Trent Dilfer at the helm on top by 7 over the Chiefs, and the Titans all over Chris. The Cincinnati Bengals skunking them right now, and the Browns looking for their second victory of the season in that contest there. Carolina, St. Louis, Chris.
You know, I know these guys room together, but we don't need to know about your toes. We just don't need to know that stuff. And every time I see St. Louis at home right now, these guys have been unbelievable. I think they're marching towards a path. They're going to have the home field advantage with the soft schedule, and these St. Louis Rams are going to the Super Bowl. Kurt Warner has proven himself in this league an outstanding talent.
It'll be in the newspaper soon enough. He says it every week.
Jim Miller for the Bears, 275 yards in the first half.
We'll tell you about Terry's toes after this. Visa halftime continues.
Visa is proud to celebrate the fans this season. Visa, it's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
The band is jamming here at the Trans World Dome. The St. Louis Rams jamming as well. 21-10 over Carolina. Our Pete Petersen caught up with Dick Vermeil on his way in at halftime. Pete?
All right, Dick Vermeil up 11 at half. A couple of turnovers near the end certainly quelled the momentum a little bit for you guys.
Oh, no question. We thought if we got the ball in good field position after the kickoff, after their field goal, that we'd take one shot. Well, we did take the one shot. Isaac got stumbled coming off. Then Trent held on to the ball too long and still tried to throw it. So it's a combination.
get some great pressure from your defensive front four on Berline today.
Yeah, we felt we could pressure them. We have to continue to pressure them here in the second half. We've got to run the ball some up inside.
All right, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
All right, Ray, Dick Vermeil up by 11.
And you heard Dick Vermeil call his quarterback Trent, not Kirk. And we will return to St. Louis for the start of the second half after these messages from your local Fox station. And welcome back to the Trans World Dome in St. Louis, where the Rams have a 21-10 lead over the Carolina at halftime. Ray Bentley along with Ron Pitts. And Ron, the St. Louis offense has been what we expected. Kurt Warner's gotten it out, a couple of touchdown passes, hit Ike Bruce early and then Roland Williams later. They haven't gotten the running game going yet, though.
Well, you know, I think that was a lot of talk because their bread and butter, like we say, is throwing the football and getting it downfield. Kurt Warner just having fun, making plays, and they found some mismatches in there, and that's been the key for them.
And on defense, they've done a great job as well, forcing turnovers, coming up with a score on defense. And let's look at this. Todd Lyght with the interception for the touchdown.
Started with a great job of bump and run. And we talked about the corners, and we talked about the wide receiver from Carolina not getting off the jams. And the pressure here is really good. Kevin Carter. And we thought that was going to be a big deal between him and Terry, the left tackle, or the right tackle. But really, he's done his damage inside. And I think that shows you that, you know, Carolina still isn't where they want to be as far as protection is concerned.
Look at the numbers, the pressure on Berline. 4 sacks, 8 hits, 9 pressures, and that interception.
The hits are the key thing. You know, the pressures are there, and then you see the result of that, the interception. But every time your guy takes a hit, it's just that much harder for him to stay in the pocket and look downfield and find the people he needs to find. And I think Steve Berline, because he's, unfortunately for him, because he's taken so many hits and sacks over the years, you know, he can do it better than anyone. But it's still not that's not how you want to run your offense.
And the halftime numbers, the Rams rushing game, we talked about that, but as you said, that was really a lot of smoke. They've gotten it done through the air.
The one thing about throwing the ball, if you're on Carolina's defense, is that does mean the ball is in the air. You have a chance to make some plays. You have a chance to get turnovers. You know, but they have to start thinking like that instead of thinking, well, let's not get beat deep by Isaac Bruce and Hakeem and Kurt Warner throwing on us. Think about making some plays. But as they spread the Rams out, it's harder to get to the quarterback. I think that's a bit better for them late.
John Casey to kick off as the Rams receive the second half. Kick, Carpenter from the 5-yard line. Cuts back up past the 20 to the 23-yard line, an 18-yard return before Dante Jones makes a special teams play. St. Louis will bring it out. First and 10 from their 22. Kurt Warner, all he did was throw 2 touchdown passes in the first half, hitting on 12 of 16 for 172 yards and that late interception.
You know, Kurt Warner, this team, they have no fear. And he's got an awful lot of confidence in his wide receivers, and you can see that. But you don't see that. He's not worried about the interception.
He's spread it around pretty good. 8 different pass receivers have caught a ball for the Rams, who start out in 2 tight ends. Marshall Faulk tries to cut back and runs right into Antonio Edwards.
You know how great passing teams always talk about, well, we're going to try to be more conservative. We're going to try to run more, be more balanced. I don't think they really believe that. I think that's good window dressing. They want to try to do it just enough to open up things in the passing game. West Coast offenses, quote unquote, have been always that way.
Just enough to keep them off balance. The balance is 2nd and 12. Warner on a quick snap throws it, trying to get it into Roland Williams, forced it in, but Mike Barrow is there to knock it down.
See, there's an example of where the Panthers need to make a play. Instead of knocking that ball down, Barrow's there, great coverage, great decision. I'm not taking that away from him, but he's got to turn to make the catch. Well, they have to seize every opportunity right now to put their offense in the best possible position to score, because it's too hard for Carolina to go 80 yards for a score.
3rd and 12 in the first half. Warner and company 4 of 5 in 3rd down conversions, which they lead the NFL in. Isaac Bruce goes in motion. Warner looking over the middle, and he's got him. Ike Bruce, first down, gain of 18. Mike Minter had to cover it.
Ike Bruce had that hamstring injury all last year, and then I think some people started to really doubt whether or not he could get back to the form that he was. And the thing that Isaac Bruce does is he gets separation down the field. He's a lot faster than people think he is, and he's a smooth strider. You don't think that he's open until he catches the ball and makes the first down.
1st and 10, play action, home run shot. Coming from Warner, knocked away, looking for Torrey Holt. It's Doug Evans, along with Mike Minter giving the coverage.
Great coverage by Doug Evans. Doug Evans sat on that upfield shoulder, and he saw the ball come off the quarterback's hands. That's the difference in making the play. There's Doug Evans right there. See, he's got to beat on that ball the whole way. And actually, you know, if Warner can throw that ball a couple steps up here,
might have had
Holt had to slow down a step or two. See, those shots, you know what they do to your defense? They put you back on your heels. They make you think, oh no, as a corner or as a linebacker, then it's easier to do other things.
2nd and 10, and it's a nice grab. And that's made by Ricky Prohl for 9 yards. A one-hander from Prohl, who has really picked up his production coming in the last 3 games, had 13 catches. Prohl with 2 on the day.
You know Isaac Bruce has been good on 3rd down. Ricky Prohl, I think that's a guy that Warner has found. You know, you almost forget about Ricky Prohl in this offense. You know, Ricky Prohl bounced around the league for a while. Came from Chicago last year. A lot of people would call him a possession receiver at best, but in this offense, that's all they need is a possession guy right now.
And Prohl has produced.
Yes, he has.
50 catches or more in 7 of his 9 years. In fact, led this team last year with 60 grabs.
And then think about this. You've got Isaac Bruce on one side, Oz Hakeem, Holt. That's not counting Tony Horn when he comes back, and or Ernie Conwell. Hey, who do you think that 4th guy that's going to match up on Prohl is? He's probably going to be your 4th best corner, if not a linebacker.
Just shy of the 1st down, 3rd and inches. Two tight ends in the mix. They'll try Marshall Falk, and Falk hit in the backfield by a Sean Gilbert. He said he's getting off the line quick. He did there.
That's the kind of burst that I'm talking about with Sean Gilbert. And he's been nicked up a little bit over the last couple of years. Had the shoulder, the knee, all that kind of stuff. But he can still get off the ball right inside. Watch how quick he is. And you know, the thing is, you can't cut him. The Rams tried to cut him there. Some guys you can't cut, just because of their body type and the way they can get off blocks fast enough.
And he's a high knee guy, and he can step over that stuff.
Yeah, and a high rear end guy, too. The higher your rear end is, I think it's hard to cut the center guy.
Isn't that what it is? No wonder I got cut all the time. Haran, the lefty, hangs a high punt.
That's a tough ball.
That's Eric Metcalf making the fair catch at the 26-yard line. A 30-yard punt for Haran. And the Carolina Panthers will have their first shot on offense when we come back.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Microsoft, offering e-commerce solutions for any business.
Early here in the 3rd quarter, St. Louis Rams 21-10 over Carolina. Steve Berline brings the Panther offense out for their initial 2nd half possession. Walls backs off and goes in motion. And they'll do the run game. Fred Lane had a hole, and then it closed up quickly. Clemens and Wistrom make the play.
Now you see London Fletcher not in the game there. Clemens, there he is now. I think the Rams defensive coaches, John Bunting and Peter Junta, they saw that hole open up on that right side. They said, you know what? Forget being cute. Let's get the horses back out
there.
Get
that regular defense back on the field. And Fletcher, a big part of that. 2nd down and 7.
Okay.
Blitz comes. Berline throws it out quick to Walls. Walls runs into Jenkins. He fumbles the football. This is picked up by Mike Jones. Touchdown Rams. 34 yards, Jones. And the Rams have scored twice on defense.
Wesley Walls just walked on over, took his helmet off, and had a seat on the bench.
Like Billy Jenkins wrestled it out of there.
That's amazing. There's something about that part of the field over there that when balls come out, they don't bounce out, they bounce in.
Maybe this thing is tilted or something.
Got a Bermuda Triangle deal going on over there. Now the Rams decide to come with the blitz. That means they're going to be short on coverage with Walls. And now watch this.
Oh, it was Jones who ripped it out.
That was Jones that ripped it out.
The extra point from Jeff Wilkins is good, and St. Louis strikes again on defense, and they take the lead 30-10. The score, St. Louis 28-10. I said 30-10, and I had a problem with my gazintas. Nonetheless, a big lead for St. Louis. The third return this year on defense for a touchdown, the second today, and the man you're looking at, Mike Jones, brought it back, put the Rams on the board again here in the second half. Michael Bates, who needs to get something going to spark this Carolina team, takes the kick from the 9. Had an opening, but it closed immediately as Charlie Clemens makes the special teams play, a 27-yard return. Let's look at this touchdown by the Rams
This
again.
is why you got to get everybody around the ball here. Now Mike Jones is over here. He's not even going to be the guy covering Walls, but he turns, realizes the ball is there, and this is what defenses are teaching nowadays. Strip the football. The guy's locked up. He's on his way down. Strip the ball. And this is what the Rams defense has needed. Talk about the things that have gone wrong in the last 2 weeks. Well, they hadn't had a defensive turnover in the last 2 weeks. They get healthy today.
A couple of them for touchdowns today as Berline brings the Panthers back out. Zips it out quick to Fred Lane. Just like an extended running play, and Lane picks up 3 yards. Mike Jones and Billy Jenkins combined for the stop.
A lot of new guys out there. They got a little drama going on here.
Fred Lane and London Fletcher throwing some haymakers.
How about your guy Fletcher? What do they call him? One of those sawed-off guys? 5'10". He got mad at the PR staff with the Rams and said, listen, don't put that I'm 5'11". Make sure you put that I'm 5'10". I want everybody out there to know how small I am. So when I'm doing a good job, they'll know the small guy is tearing it up.
Yeah, there is a flag down, and he said, yeah, you know what, he's actually 5'10", and he wanted to be given credit
Between
for
downs, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 32. 15-yard penalty. It is second down. It is second down.
Those are the things now that start to really kill you. They don't need that. That's just a dumb penalty.
Yeah, talking's one thing. And
Fletcher can talk up a good game now, and he got the best of Fred Lane. And Fred has had his problems with that kind of stuff, whether it's been in the end zone antics,
right? Antics,
what have you.
Fred Lane better be careful. Doesn't want to get tossed out of this game because Tim Biakabatuka inactive with the bum ankle.
Yeah, John Casey will be running the football.
Yeah, or Anthony Johnson. So with the flag, it's second down and 22. The Panthers in a hole. Lane motions out of the backfield. And I don't believe Berline got it off.
And that's happened a couple times today.
Actually, I think it's a false start. Find out.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 85. 5-yard penalty, it remains second down.
You just soon forget these last couple plays with Wesley Walls.
Yeah, Wesley Walls, even though he's a vet, I'm sure he's having a hard time getting that last fumble out of his head.
Oh, and you see the Panthers, they started out with a bang.
And then they got destroyed here in the last half.
Muhammad and Jeffers to the bottom. Lane in motion. They'll try the draw play to William Floyd. Floyd goes nowhere. Runs in to Nate Hopgood-Chittick, getting some time at the defensive line spot.
Panthers can't run the ball, having trouble running the ball, period. But now, even when they spread people out, they can't run it. You know that if you throw, you get a turnover here, the game's over for sure.
They are missing Tim Biakabatuka, as you see his production compared to the rest of the team coming into today. Biakabatuka with 3 touchdown runs of longer than 50 yards this year. Berline throws the slant to Muhammad. He gets 11 yards on the play, but Keith Lyle makes the tackle, and it's short, well short of the first down, and Carolina will punt.
But all they did there is give the punter room to kick the football.
Ken Walter. Fourth punt of the day. Back to receive at his own 30-yard line is Azakim. High short kick. There's a flag down as Akeem makes the fair catch at the 41. Just a 32-yard punt, no return. We'll see what that flag is. It's over along the sideline, and the side judge has the hat off. It's going to be against the Rams.
I think he motioned Carolina.
Excuse me, Carolina, yes.
Kicking team player voluntarily going out of bounds by the kicking team, number 24. The 5-yard penalty is declined. First down.
Michael Bates voluntarily went out of bounds. Can't do that. We're going to volunteer to take a break right now. It's the Rams 28, Carolina 10. Dude thought he was with the big 3 out.
Yeah.
First and 10, Warner. Hands this off to Falk. Falk finds 6 yards up the middle. Rams still trying to get the running game going, and it hasn't been going. Just 22 yards on the ground as Falk has 8 carries for 18.
But I think it does what it's supposed to do. It gets going just enough that it makes the defense start thinking about runs, and as soon as the defensive coordinator, opposing defensive coordinator, creeps that safety up, now they hit you downtown with a pass.
Bruce in motion on 2nd and 4. Here comes Falk again, tries to get outside, and running laterally doesn't work. Chuck Wiley makes the tackle.
And this front 4 for the Carolina Panthers now, they made some plays today. You see Sean Gilbert in there, he's run around a little bit. They've gotten put in real bad positions, field position wise, and just being on the field a long time, but when they've had to make some plays, they've made it. That stuff going on the other side of the ball is killing them.
Go home.
I mean, 2 defensive touchdowns.
And take those
you can't
away.
play
It's
like
a
that.
14-10 game. 3rd and 5 as the Rams spread it out. Warner. Nowhere to throw it. Now he dumps it outside for Akeem. Just overthrown as Eric Davis had the coverage.
You see the first thing they did, they tried to chip on Kevin Green. They got him neutralized. Kevin Green said he didn't like the fact that every time he looks at Fred Miller play, he goes to the face right away. He said, why don't you just play me straight up, man?
Right, and block me one-on-one. Don't chip me, he said.
Kevin, they're not going to play like that. They're not going to play fair like that. They got to do what they can to win.
Mike Horan for the 3rd time today. Bang it out. A hang time guy as we take a look at that.
Horan has done a good job of punting today.
Nice hang time of 4.9, and Metcalf gets rocked by Charlie Clemens. Another special teams tackle from Clemens, a 40-yard punt. -3 on the return. The Rams will have, Carolina has it. We'll be back in a moment.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. By SAP, one-step business over the internet. By MGM Pictures, the wait is over, the world is yours. Pierce Brosnan is James Bond, and the world is not enough, rated PG-13. And by Chrysler, giving you back the romance of driving.
Embraceable use as St. Louis 28-10 over Carolina. Berline brings him out from the 11-yard line, 1st and 10. Fred Lane tries it off the left side. He picks up 1, but this Rams defense has not only played well, but they've come up with the big play today.
That's right here. Todd Lyght getting a good jam. Patrick Jeffers, and then taking the ball to the house. You know, that's what everybody talks about doing, ball awareness. They haven't just gotten the turnovers, they've scored with it, and that's what's been so devastating to Carolina.
2nd down and 8.
Rams showing a little bear look.
Berline pumps twice, and now he'll tuck it under and try to run for first down yardage, and he'll be a yard or two short right now. We'll go out to the Fox Network Center in Los Angeles. Here's JB.
Ray and Ron take a look at Minnesota threatening to score right here on 3rd and goal, but Jeff George trips over his own man, Corbin Messina. Fumble recovered by Chicago. The Bears have it at their own 14. It's still 17-14 Chicago. Terry and Chris intense battling back here in the studio. Ray and Ron.
Wow, what a big win for Chicago that would be, as Minnesota's been a hot team, but Chicago seems to have their number.
Detroit is sitting real good now. The longer Minnesota struggles, and Chicago coming up, like you said.
3rd and 1. They toss it out to Fred Lane. Oh, he's got a lot of room, but there is a flag down as Lane gets the first down and then some, all the way up to the 39. Gain of 20, but there is a flag. And it is holding against Carolina.
And Panther fans have to wonder, why is it that every single time we get a good run game going, there's something good on the run, there's a flag, something bad happens.
Holding offense, number 65. 10-yard penalty, it remains 3rd down.
Frank Garcia. Yeah. Frank Garcia, the only offensive lineman left from the original 14 drafted there back in '95. He's a center. And he's got to try to make that block. That's almost an impossible block for him to make with Agnew down in that crease, in that gap like that. So he just kind of grabs him by the neck and olays him. That shows you the turnover on this team from just an offensive line standpoint. Matt Campbell not in the game at the guard position. Stoltenberg actually more of a center, trying to be a stopgap in that position.
3rd and 11, and Berline throws it down.
Watch out.
Flag. Whoa. Keith Lyle put a big hit on Muhsin Muhammad, and they're both down.
Boy, and I thought Lyle, he didn't get a flush shot on him.
It's like they hit hand-to-hand almost. They're both holding their hands.
And for Keith Lyle to be out like that, he is hurting. He's got something seriously wrong with that hand.
Well, you could see that collision coming, too, the way Berline laid that ball up.
You know, you pray that your quarterback...
Holding defense, number 32. That's a 5-yard penalty with an automatic first down.
Dre Bly, the rookie, caught holding.
The receiver prays that his quarterback throws the ball to the outside here and doesn't lead you in here, because that's where the headache is. Watch Dre Bly. He totally missed the jam there, and he grabs him up by the helmet, around the waist.
And there's a shot.
Might be shoulder there. See, Lyle could just really...
Yeah, he did really. I mean, that's a jarring blow. It wasn't as flush as what you're talking about.
You know, and the reason for that is that nowadays you got to be careful leading with that helmet. You get a call from Gene Washington in the league office, and they'll take your ducats away from you. And I think Lyle thought about that right before he got ready to make the hit.
Didn't want his pocket to get any lighter. Muhammad walks off, Lyle on the bench.
At this point, I don't know what there is to lose for Carolina to take more shots like that, especially when you see single coverage on a rookie cornerback with Dre Bly.
Speaking of rookies, Rich Cody fills in for Keith Lyle. Cody, the number 3 pick out of Texas A&M. And that receiver for Carolina, Donald Hayes, fills the spot for Muhammad. And after the penalty, first down and 10. This is Fred Lane trying to get outside. That's where he's had his success today, and he picks up 4 yards. Kevin Carter over there along with Agnew. Agnew not ready to give it up yet. And now here they go. Him and Chris Terry, the rookie, going at it.
Terry needs to hold on to some of that energy to help run block a little better. Saw the Rams, they shifted at the last minute exactly to the side the Panthers are going to run the football. And one of the things that happens when you're not running very well is you become very predictable when you do run. And I think the Rams got the Panthers very well scouted on this.
Carolina with just 16 rushes, but for 99 yards on the day, and that's actually good production for them. Coming in, they averaged 101 yards a game. 2nd and 6. Berline, play action. Looking for Hayes, and he's got him. There's a flag down.
Another problem in the backfield.
Hayes picks up 19. And you're right, holding again against Carolina, their second holding penalty in this drive.
I attribute a lot of this, though, to just that great play we talked about from the Rams D-line. That quick penetration. A lot of times you're put in a position where you can't do anything else but hold the guy to try to make a block.
Holding offense number 32. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat. Second down.
That's on Fred Lane.
Carolina just can't get it out of gear. They get a nice play and they come bring it back after a penalty. 2nd and 16 for George Seifert. 7 penalties, 59 yards on the day for Carolina. 4 wide receivers in the game. And Fred Lane on the draw runs into Mike Jones and Devin Bush.
One thing about Fred Lane is Fred Lane comes 100 miles an hour every play.
He's got one speed.
It's like one or two things are going to happen when Fred Lane runs the ball. It's either going to be a great run or something bad's going to happen. He's going to get knocked out or fumble the ball. But it will be an exciting play that you don't want to miss. And they got everybody spread out. They're just running the draw here. They talk about 6 seconds or 3 seconds of glory.
Not much glory on that. 3rd down and 10. Anthony Johnson in the game in the backfield for Lane as Berline throws it outside to Muhammad.
Oh, what a catch.
1st down as Muhammad beats Dre Bly on an out route. And I'm surprised they're not trying to take advantage of that matchup even more.
Well, a lot of the Rams have been bringing the safety over the top. They started doing that after the first series of plays where Carolina gashed them. Now you see the distance there. Bly's going to give up the out, and he's playing on it outside. He's got the help inside, and still gets beat on the out. That's the one route he should be able to cover a little bit better if he's going to play outside technique.
Hussein Muhammad came in as the leading yardage receiver in the NFC, 3rd in the NFL. As Berline on 1st and 10 goes over the middle. He's got Muhammad again. Muhammad all the way up to the 45-yard line. Over 100 yards on the day. 7th time in his career he's done that. His 8th catch of the day for 103 yards from Hussein Muhammad.
That time, Muhsin beat a double team. Now there's going to be help inside right about there. They tried to get a little chip on him. Now here's a guy that's really he's been trying to get that contract extensions in the last year of his contract. This is a guy that Carolina can't afford to lose. I'm not so sure I understand why they haven't reached a deal on him yet.
Well, he said they're finally talking the same language as Fred Lane catches it, but the whistle is blown. Doesn't seem to matter to McLeon and Cody. They still bring Lane down, but this play will not count. There's a flag.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 67. 5-yard penalty remains, 1st down.
Stoltenberg. Here's London Fletcher. It's takeoff time for Fletcher. You gotta be careful getting up in the air like that. Bad things are going to happen.
What did London say? My definition of a good hit is when I see stars.
You know, if you're hurting, that you hit them hard.
Is that your definition of a good hit?
Yeah, I would take that. I think I could go along with that. Just had too many of them. 1st and 15 after the penalty.
Here they come.
Anthony Johnson on the draw. Takes it outside. Billy Jenkins forced him out of bounds after a gain of 6.
Here's what happens sometimes when you run blitz too much. Backers are going. They're hoping to hit the exact gap that the running back is coming, but he gets scooted. A little sidestep action there.
Good recognition from Johnson. You saw him, the eyes. He said, I'm out of here.
Boy, has Anthony Johnson not taken the road from the penthouse back down to the outhouse, or what? The year they went to the NFC Championship game, he went over 1,000 yards. Had a great year, and then after that, got hurt and just kind of dropped off.
Johnson drops off in motion on 2nd and 9. Berline with time throws it behind Kinchin. The coverage there coming from the linebacker, Todd Collins. like Berline was looking for the back shoulder, and I don't think tension was on the same page.
You look across the board on the offense, just at least on the perimeter, there's a lot of new faces there. You know, that's pretty good defense there. Defend with your back.
Collins
says you can't play with your back, too.
That's right. Collins, as you said earlier, one of the best coverage linebackers, certainly the best here for the Rams. Got beat for the first touchdown, the only touchdown. Wesley Walls got him in the first quarter as Berline on 3rd and 9. Going to be forced out by DeMarco Farr. He throws it downfield, and he's got his man, and that's Muhsin Muhammad. His 9th catch of the day, good for 22 yards, working on Rich Cody.
Now, people will say that, well, Steve Berline doesn't move in the pocket well. He doesn't have foot speed in it. But, you know, this guy has had to dance an awful lot today, and I think considering the pressure, he's done a pretty good job of it. Now, the Rams D-line, they're going to run a little game here. You see DeMarco Farr loop on the outside. Berline's getting up in there and making moves so he can buy some more time. And Muhsin Muhammad, he got a little nervous when I asked him the other day, you know, they might make you the franchise guy for
he
next
didn't like
year.
to hear that.
Well, so far today, without a doubt, he is the franchise guy.
William Floyd stopped for a loss of a yard, spit it out. Charlie Clemens made that tackle. This drive started on Carolina's 11-yard line, and this will be the 11th play of the drive. And it'll be the last play of the 3rd quarter as Muhsin Muhammad has a career-high 9 catches in the ball game. That is the end of the 3rd quarter. The score, the Rams 28, the Panthers 10. We'll be back for the start of the 4th quarter after a word from your local station as the defense has turned it around for St. Louis. Carolina started the scoring, and it's been all St. Louis except for the field goal since that time, scoring in each and every period, taking a 28-10 lead here into the 4th. Carolina, 11th play of the drive, has eaten up 7 minutes and 28 seconds off the clock. The blitz comes from Berline, and now he'll get hit from behind. That's Jay Williams making the sack. His first sack of the season.
If you're going to blitz it, you have to be able to hold up man-to-man. The Rams held up man-to-man in the secondary. But look at the amount of pressure that Berline is at. He's not even at the end of his drop, and the guy is running for his life already.
5th time Berline has been sacked here today. Brings up a 3rd and 13. Berline back to throw. He's got a wide open Patrick Jeffers. Jeffers scrambles trying to get that first down. He's going to be a yard or 2 short after he got 11 on the play. Rich Cody with the stop. And boy, you'd think that they're going to have to go for this.
You have to go for this.
4th down and 2 from the Rams 20, just inside the 25-yard line.
On 4th down. 4th and 2.
Panthers just 2 of 6 on 4th down tries. This is a big one. They need to get back into this game. Berline will throw. Almost picked off. Good defensive play from Mike Jones.
Mike Jones
trying to get it into Wesley Walls. Jones was all over him. And the 4th down conversion is no good. And the St. Louis Rams, with the lead, will take over. Mike Jones made that last play, forcing a turnover on downs as St. Louis gets the ball back. Jones also with a touchdown to his credit, stripped the football from Wesley Walls and took it 34 yards to pay dirt. And they're dancing here in the Dome.
That's one thing about this Rams defense is they have a lot of speed back there within the linebacking core and really up front. If you got speed in your front 7, you're going to be able to make a lot of plays like that, if nothing else, be around the football.
And they go to the ground with Marshall Falk, who runs over a couple of men up to the 10-yard line. Mike Barrow ends up getting planted, but he makes the tackle. She got a little mix on the jersey. She's got 10 on the front and on the back. 13. Can't decide who she's liking here. She's got a flap there. I think this thing will flap up and she can get to another number. Now that's a fan.
Yeah, you just drew that. I did. I don't draw that bad.
Yeah, come on. I got to take that now. You still got it. A little rusty maybe, but it ends up to be a first down, a 10-yard run.
A little rusty maybe.
For Marshall Falk. Trent Green is stretching out, getting ready to come into the game maybe. Boy, they wish.
You talk about how fate works. Who knows what kind of job Trent Green would have done if he's the guy. I mean, it just so happens that Kurt Warner, his timing is perfect. He's doing everything right.
Marshall Falk tries to get the corner, but Eric Davis tracks him down. You're going to want to see this next week. It's another Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. First, the NFC Central leaders, the Detroit Lions, will battle Antonio Freeman and the Green Bay Packers. Then Kurt Warner and these very Rams take on their division rival, their nemesis, the 49ers. Coverage begins with the pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, right here on Fox. As you look at the NFC East standings, Giants in trouble, but the Redskins holding a slim lead over the Eagles. Dallas playing Green Bay. That's the second game of our doubleheader today, except for those of you in St. Louis, due to the NFL blackout rules. But 2nd and 7, and Warner goes to the air. He's got a man wide open. That's his tight end, Roland Williams, and Williams gashes it all the way up to the 31-yard line, but there is a flag down. 34 yards on the play.
You're going to get a hold
there. It's coming back.
Do you know what? That's the thing. And you trace this offense. A lot of people want to know what this offense is and what it's about.
Holding offense number 60, 10-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
Mike Grudadorian on the penalty.
Mike Martz came from the Washington Redskins. He was with Norv Turner. Norv Turner, look at Martz there, had this same kind of offense in Dallas, which Ernie Zampese originally brought it to Dallas. And before then, it came from Don Coryell, and before that, it was Sid Gilman, like we said, the old AFL, the Los Angeles Chargers. But in this offense, you've had the people on the perimeter, but a running back and the tight end has been the key guy, because the tight end is the one who causes all the mismatches for the defense. Think about the tight end that Don Coryell had in his days there. Kellen Winslow.
Not bad.
And you go to Dallas, Zampese having Novacek. You have to have that guy, then you have to have this guy here.
And that guy is Marshall Falk for 10 yards. Mike Minter gets him down. But, boy, Marshall Falk has really elevated his play. I think you look all across the NFL, and if you can find a better all-around back, you got me stumped, because I think he's the man right now.
And that's why his yards from line of scrimmage are so high right now. He's doing everything. He's running it, he's catching it, and I think he got better at breaking people down in the open field. I mean, he's got some moves that look like Barry Sanders out there. And remember, this is a guy that didn't have training camp.
Ball's batted up in the air, incomplete, intended for Holt. I believe, yes, intended for Holt, but incomplete, and that'll bring up a 4th down, and the Rams will have to punt.
They almost didn't get Marshall Falk. The negotiations got real nasty for a while, and Dick Vermeil almost backed off from the whole deal. They weren't quite sure where Marshall was heading, and Marshall wasn't very happy with what was on the table. Funny how it all works out.
Mike Horan nails this punt. Metcalf catches it at the 14, and he's hit immediately. Chris Thomas makes a special teams play, a 48-yard punt, no return. And the Panthers get the ball back. They are backed up.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by BF Goodrich Tires. Take control. By 1-800-COLLECT, the easy way to save. By the U.S. Army. Be a part of the toughest, smartest Army in the world. Be all you can be. And by Priority Mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
Welcome back to St. Louis. Ray Bentley along with Ron Pitts here in the 4th quarter. 11:25 left in the ball game. St. Louis with a 28-10 lead. Carolina has the football, their own 14-yard line. 1st and 10. Steve Berline, 19 of 25, 204 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. They'll go back to throw. Pumps Goes up, he's got a man open. That's Muhsin Muhammad, but overthrows Muhammad. We'll overthrow it to Los Angeles, the Fox Network Center. Here's JB.
Ray and Ron Washington was up 21-10 on the Eagles in a second, but take a look at the Eagles as they keep coming back. Deuce Staley shakes Anthony Cook, then Derek Smith, 20 yards for pay dirt. McNabb, 2-point conversion is good. Philadelphia up 24-21 in the fourth. Back to Ray Bentley. Ron Pitts.
Thank you, JB. Boy,
McNabb in there. Why not get the rookie in there? You paid the money. You might as well wear it.
Andy Reid finally pulled that trigger, and it looks like it's paying off for Philadelphia. 2nd and 10. Berline with pressure, pulls it down again, and he'll get 3 yards on the scramble. DeMarco Farr runs him down.
Pressure again. Ray Agnew getting up in there, making some plays. This defensive line will be okay until they have to face a team that is physical and big up front and can mash on it. That's the trade-off when you're smaller and quicker. And remember, they play best like everybody else does with points at their back, because now they can go get the quarterback. They don't have to play right. And with their offense, they may never have to.
3rd and 6, and this is complete to Wesley Walls, who fell to his knees and still made the catch. Good enough for a first down.
Yeah, that knee. Walls, of course, injured that knee last week. Wasn't even sure if he's going to be able to play today. You know, that's why last night George Seifert said that we went to San Francisco, got the win, and we thought we were a little bit better than we actually are. And I think that's why he's a little conservative coming into this game, talking about the huge game and what it would mean if they could get a win and everything. So this is just another week that we got to go out and try to get a win.
Haven't won 2 in a row all year. Looking for that today. Doesn't look good as Berline drops it off to William Floyd, and Floyd gets another first down up to the 43-yard line to pick up a 15. Rich Cody getting up off the bottom of the pile. You see some of the scores going by on your screen. Philadelphia, we just told you about that one. New Orleans looking to get their first win since opening day when they beat these Carolina Panthers. 1st and 10 for Berline. Blitz comes. Fred Lane gets 1 yard as he runs into the middle of that blitz.
I think John Bunting and Peter Junta, the 2 coordinators, done a good job of setting up a defense, as you said before, that's got great speed inside. And it's funny, like I said, it plays perfectly into the hands of what their offense does. They're always playing with a long field at their backs. They're playing ahead, and they can just let that kind of mentality loose and run around and make plays.
John Bunting on the left, Peter Junta on the right. Bunting upstairs, he's the eyes for Junta as Berline eyes Patrick Jeffers, but overthrows him down the right sideline. 3rd down and 10.
It's a nice job by McLeon of squeezing on that backside. You know, I don't buy everything that Coach Vermeil said last week about taking the blame for that last play up in Detroit.
Right.
Yeah, you could have been in another defense, maybe one more corner on the field, but the bottom line is when you're a corner, you have to play the defense call, and you have to make it stand up. I have yet to see a Pro Bowl corner go to the Pro Bowl and take his defensive coordinator with him because he made great calls.
McLeon has done a nice job today answering the criticism he felt after last week's debacle meltdown in Detroit. 3rd and 9. Berline goes over the middle to Jeffers as Todd Lyght slipped and fell down. Jeffers wide open into Rams territory to the 35, again at 22.
Now there's where Jeffers can be an asset to this team. It looked like Lyght tried to lean on him a little bit there, and you don't want to get into a wrestling match with a guy that's bigger and stronger, taller like Jeffers is. Lyght might have slipped trying to come back. Yeah, he slipped trying to come back. That's a good job of working his body, getting that big frame back inside.
1st and 10, Berline going down the sidelines for Muhammad, incomplete. And we were talking to Muhsin Muhammad, and he talked about Todd Lyght having a hard time stopping on routes. He says you get his feet moving, and sometimes he doesn't get the stop and the change of direction as good as you would hope, and then you get open, and that's what happened on that previous play.
Well, that's exactly what makes Isaac Bruce so good. Isaac Bruce can eat up your cushion within 5 steps, before 5 steps. So you've got to make a decision as a corner. Either you got to turn and run deep and give up all the underneath stuff, or you got to sit there and, you know, flirt with getting toasted. I choose to run deep.
Yeah, no toast here, please. 2nd and 10. Berline scrambles again, throws it outside, too high and wide for Jeffers. Todd Lyght right there.
Fletcher draws some drama every play. He is one of the best talkers out there. And he may or may not be the best linebacker in the NFL that you don't know about, but I think he's the best talker in the NFL that we don't know about.
You know, I like him. He's got great energy. I mean, he's always running. They said when he's first trying to make this team, he was chasing guys off the film. He was running all over the place, trying to make up coming out of a small college. Came out of John Carroll.
Said he was chasing guys off the film.
That's working right there. 3rd and 10. Blitz comes. Berline throws it up top. Intercepted. Dre Bly. 2nd interception of his young career at the 9-yard line. Bly comes up with the interception, the 2nd of the day, thrown by Berline, and the Rams quell the uprising, and they take a 28-10 lead into the final 7:53.
You want to know what helps make this play for Dre Bly? Watch his vertical leap. I've been trying to look it up and find it. I guarantee it's at least 41 or 42. That kid's sky. And then the next thing is you have to have a great football name, like Dre Bly.
That's not a bad one. Dre Bly.
That sounds fast.
Leading interceptor in the history of the ACC with 20 in college is Warner. Tries to go downtown. He's got Holcomb. Holcomb's got the ball up to the 38, but there is a flag back at the line of scrimmage. 30 yards if it stands. Holcomb hung on to it this time. He had a catch earlier. It got ripped away.
The Rams had so many people open in that route.
Face mask Carolina. It seems like St. Louis.
Personal foul, grasping the face mask on the defense, number 46. This is a personal foul prior to a completion. 15 yards from the end of the run. 1st down.
Well, they got to mark off the 15. They haven't done that yet.
Holcomb right there. Everybody's going to give the attention to Falk. So now he's got a shot between Jeff Robinson and Holcomb. He's got both of them open. Look at that. There's Robinson right there. He actually threw it to the harder guy.
That's a zone drop, and it's totally voided.
But see, there's your dilemma. If you can't match up across the board, man for man, which a lot of people in the NFL can't, then you have to play zones. If you play zones, you risk the chance of getting your zones flooded and just plain messing up the drop.
So it's 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line as Isaac Bruce goes across in motion, tossed out to Marshall Falk. And Falk runs into Eric Davis, and there is a flag down. And I want to congratulate Eric Davis and his family. He was inducted into the Jacksonville State Hall of Fame on Friday night. Eric not able to make it, but his parents went down to accept the award. And
what did he say? I had a choice between going there or coming here to play the game.
Offense, number 86. 10-yard penalty, repeat, 1st down.
Roland Davis on the penalty.
He said, I figured I better come play the game.
Excuse me, I mean Roland Williams. I'm thinking Davis because we did talk with Eric Davis, and he said he likes this scheme that John Marshall has, and they've done a decent job of picking it up. But he thinks that as it goes on, they're going to get better and better, and he sees there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, but right now, I don't think they're sure if that's a light or a train coming.
Good point by you. 1st and 20 after the flag. Falk in motion. Warner. Quick drop and then zips it outside, overthrown. Looking for Torrey Holt. Good coverage on the play by Doug Evans.
We talked about personnel being important on this team, and really Mike Marks, offensive coordinator, kind of fell into a great situation. You know, Jerry Rome was the offensive coordinator here last year, and they had a lot of problems, a lot of injuries. They let Kinnison go, and I think he's been better for it. But Isaac Bruce was hurt, so you lost your deep threat. He didn't have that. Conwell was hurt. Everybody came back healthy together in this one time, and then here comes Marks with this up-the-field offense, and then Warner comes in. It just all kind of clicked.
Warner hits Falk out of the backfield. Marshall Falk is tackled by Mike Barrow, but not until he picks up 11 on the play, and it's the second grab of the day for Marshall Falk.
And you know what Marshall Falk is to this offense. He's the same thing that Chuck Muncie was to Don Coryell's offense in San Diego, and that's what I talked about earlier. You have to have that trio. You have to have that tight end, that quarterback, and then you got to have that running back who's a slash kind of guy, a guy that can run and a guy that can catch the ball for you out of the backfield. Now you go to Dallas with Ernie Zampese. I think the Cowboys were a little more run heavy, but they still had weapons on the perimeter. They had the great tight end in Jay Novatek, and they had the quarterback that could hurt you with Aikman and the great run game.
And St. Louis takes a timeout. We'll take one as well. The Rams lead it 28-10. St. Louis Rams in command, an 18-point lead, just 6 minutes and 14 seconds left in the contest. They face a third down and call it 8 yards from the 45 of the Carolina Panthers. Panthers started out this game, scored first, looked very good in that first drive, but have gone into a shell since then. The Rams with 2 touchdowns on defense, taking command. And Warner looking downfield for Torrey Holt. He's got Holt. Oh. No, incomplete. Dropped it in the end zone. Holt had Evans beat, but couldn't hang on. That was a nice throw. Warner dropped it right in there.
Great throw. And that's another thing that Kurt Warner does, that all the great deep throwers that Joe Namath, Dan Fouts have been able to do is put the ball deep but on the money. Watch the acceleration for Holt right here. See that separation? Catch the ball.
Well, he tried to hold on to it with one hand against the shoulder pad, but Brown jarred it loose, and Moran comes on to punt. Hangs it high. Metcalf with a fair catch at the 10-yard line. 35-yard punt. Carolina with their last gasp. 6 minutes left. They trail by 18. Tonight it's Hank Hill's $1 million throw against Dandy Don Meredith, followed by all new episodes of The Simpsons and Futurama. Then it's the shocking conclusion to the X-Files season premiere. All new Fox Sunday starts with King of the Hill at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central tonight. And Nassim Muhammad making his way into the locker room after having a career-high 9 grabs for 125 yards today. Here's Floyd on the screen. And William Floyd gets a first down before he is run out of bounds by Charlie Clemens and Grant Wistrom. 13 yards on the play, and Rams defense has been outstanding today. They've given up some yardage, 355 yards, but they've gotten pressure and they've made big plays and they've turned them into points.
Right, but you wouldn't know that they've given up that much yardage watching the game. Like you say, Ray, the key is that they've made big plays. And not only got healthy from the last 2 weeks by getting the turnovers, but then they turned the turnovers into touchdowns.
Berline looking for Hayes. He's covered up well, and now he runs for his life and throws it away. And right now we'll head to the Fox Network Center for an NFL update. Here's JB.
Ray and Ryan, Michael Westbrook have been screaming to be used more this week. He was on this drive here, 2 catches for 91 yards. Here in the post pattern, out of the slot from the left, 43 yards from Brad Johnson. Redskins back on top by 1. 9:15 left in the fourth to play. Back to Ray Bentley and Ron Pitts.
That's a straight shootout up there, boy.
It seems like Washington every week they get that shootout going. And the word on Nassim Muhammad getting an X-ray on his ribs. Doubt if he'll return. 2nd and 10. Berline over the middle of jumpers, and it's knocked away. A big hit from Cody.
The Rams put themselves in such a good position by coming out of the box and playing well in a division where everyone else is playing horrible. You look at that, the next 4 of the next 7 on the road, but if you look at the beginning of this week or this game, only the Giants, they were the only winning team they would have had to play out of that whole schedule. They go toggle back and forth between New Orleans and Carolina. Dick Vermeil has got to be smiling about that schedule.
And St. Louis can put it away. The 5 straight division games, including today's, as Berline gets open, finds Donald Hayes for a first down, and Hayes gets it out of bounds up at the 46-yard line. Pickup of 24 on the play. Dre Bly forced him out. The Rams had a hot start back in 95. Actually, it was 95. And from those hot starts, they've made the playoffs 12 out of the 13 times. And boy, they look good to get back. The question is, when they get back and they have to play good teams, how will they respond? And we saw that in the last 2 games against teams with winning records, and they were in those games, Ron, but they ended up losing.
Yeah, but the key, though, is what happens when they don't get off to that good start by their offense. Now, granted, Carolina went down the field and jumped on it, but I'm talking about when they don't have their offense come on the field and make a play. How will they respond then when they don't have points at their back on defense?
Ray Agnew responds. He gets a sack. He has 1.5 now on the year. The 6th sack of the day from that Rams defense. And Carolina uses up a timeout. And the 3rd year has been the charm for Dick Vermeil. You look at his numbers with the Eagles. The first 2 years they struggled. 3rd year, 9-7, got into the playoffs. He looks like he's on that same timetable here with the Rams.
One other thing I would be concerned about if I were Dick Vermeil is, you're playing in this division. You're used to rolling over people fast. Now the playoffs come, and you know the caliber of people you see changes. And the one thing that becomes more important is the run game. And I keep going back to this. You think of all those years with the San Diego Chargers. They broke every record throwing it. They did everything. They went to the playoffs, but it was only good enough to get them only so far. They could never get over that hump, because I still think it goes back to being able to run the football in crucial situations where you can't throw the ball.
15 rushes, 45 yards today on the ground for St. Louis.
That's
hasn't hurt him here, but you're right, down the road that can become a problem. 2nd and long. Berline avoids and throws downfield. This will be intercepted. Oh, Cody dropped it. He had it. It was intended for Patrick Jeffers, and Cody, playing center field, had a beat on it, but beat it up.
Cody getting in the game here, filling in for Keith Lyle. And the one thing you want when you're getting your chance to play is to make a play. You can't look at that end zone when you got a beat on the ball, a free one like that, as they call it, a free one. Cody's father, Richard, played on the same Chicago Bears team that Keith Lyle's father played on. Played in the year with Dick Butkus and all the old greats up there.
This one is incomplete. We'll bring up a 4th down intended for Hayes. But right now we'll go to the Fox Network Center. Here's JB.
Ray and Ron, Jeff George driving the Vikes 13 plays, 96 yards, culminating in Chris Carter holding his 3rd touchdown reception of the day. Vikes on top 24-17. Back to Ray Bentley and Ron Pitts.
Chris
Carter's the guy. Chris Carter's the guy because Randy Moss is drawing so much attention. And you're going to go single coverage on Chris Carter?
Forget about it.
That guy better be good.
Carter now with 9 touchdown catches on the year. As Walter punts it to Akeem. He'll take it at the 19, try to set it up. Nothing there. It's forced out of bounds by Damian Richardson. Coming up, except for those of you in the St. Louis area, you'll have the 2nd half of our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. It's a clash of the Titans, 2 of the best teams in the 90s, Dallas and Green Bay. Brett Favre and his Packers will try to shut down the Cowboys. Some of you will also see the Lions take on the Cardinals. All coming up next, right here on Fox. It'll be interesting to see how Dallas responds without the big 3 today.
Especially the running game part of it. That's where I think it's going to hurt them the most.
Aikman, Irvin, Emmett out of that ball game. The Rams take over 1st and 10 at the 21. Marshall Faulk dodges one man, gets it up close to the 25. Chuck Wiley makes the stop. And right now, that's what the Rams are going to try and do. Pound it out, eat that clock up, and go in with a nice win to stop the 2-game losing streak and bring their record to 7-2, which will be the tops in the NFC. It could be tied with the Lions if Detroit is able to handle Arizona later on.
This is such a huge game for the Rams from that standpoint. And not numbers-wise, you always want to win, yeah, obviously, but they needed to get the confidence back. But they knew the whole time they were moving the ball, they were making yards. Wow! They were making yards, and they were coming up with plays like that.
That being Torrey Holt with a little juggling act. He's enjoying himself. Carolina uses up a timeout. Gives me time to say that today's game is being produced by Pete Mancheska, directed by Rich Russo. The associate director is Barry Landis. The broadcast associate, Eric Billigmeyer. The technical producer is Dan Rotante. The studio was produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. The associate director is Jennifer Love, and the senior producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown. The executive producers, Ed Gorin and David Hill. Kurt Warner started out this game hot. 2 touchdown passes in the first half. This one, the first one to Isaac Bruce. And then this one to Roland Williams. Williams just inside the pylon. And Warner just keeps on rolling. He's having an unbelievable season. He throws it outside. Bruce with a one-hand grab and the first down.
You know, people keep waiting for Kurt Warner to wake up and have that one bad game. I don't know if he's ever going to wake up from this. He may wake up in Hawaii on the beach at the Pro Bowl.
That's where he's going to be. If you look at some of the names we talked about earlier and their best start after 9 games, and right now Kurt Warner second best all time behind Dan Marino, who in his second year in 1984 threw 27 touchdown passes on his way to a record 48. Warner's on pace to get that record, or tie that record. On 1st and 10, Falk hammers the middle again, runs into Kevin Green, along with Dean Wells.
The best thing when you talk to Kurt Warner is that he's not worried about stuff. You know, he's not worried about throwing the interception. He's not worried about having that bad game. He's not worried about running the offense perfect. So the only thing that gets me ticked off is when I don't make the throws and plays I know I can make. And that says a lot, because this is a guy that is just using his ability. They have put him in a position to just play. He doesn't have a ton of stuff to think about. The offense isn't overly complicated.
Just sling the rock, baby. 2nd and 6. Holcomb works his way up the middle for 2 yards. Brought down by Mike Rucker.
And it goes back to the Arena League and maybe a little NFL Europe, where at least in the Arena League, every play is like a 3rd down play.
Well, here's Kurt Warner with the Iowa Barnstormers, where he threw in 3 years 183 touchdown passes. They made it to the Arena Bowl twice, and he's got a group, a couple of busloads of folks from Des Moines, Iowa, home of the Barnstormers, made it up for today's game to cheer him on. On 3rd and 4, Warner will go back to the air, lost it out to Robinson, his tight end wide open. Robinson up to the 25-yard line. Minter gets him, but not until the Rams tack on 30 more yards.
This team keeps talking about tight ends that they need, needing to get Conwell back. Well, they get Conwell back, somebody's going to have to sit down. Somebody good.
That brings us to our 2-minute warning with the score. St. Louis 28, Carolina 10. We'll be back with the finish of the game after these messages. Long faces on the Carolina sideline as they came out, started this game very well. Their first drive went down and got 7 points, but boy, they've gone downhill since then. The Rams have a commanding 28-10 lead, and it's back to the drawing board for Carolina, and they have not been able to string 2 wins together all season long. It's up and down, and George Seifert still got some rebuilding to do. 1st and 10, Marshall Falk on the toss, up to the 20, down to the 17-yard line, a gain of 8. Mike Barrow makes the play.
Once Again, more Marshall Faulk cutting it up in there, making a nice run.
15 carries, 56 yards on the day for Faulk.
Still amazes me the guy is able to be this productive and miss a complete training camp.
And maybe there's something to be said for that.
Yeah, you don't need training camp.
You look at the win streak after today. St. Louis will have 6 in a row at home. That's tying Kansas City for the active home winning streak. 2nd down and 2. Faulk tries the other side. Faulk, he's going to the end zone. Touchdown, St. Louis, no flag. Great block from Jeff Robinson. Faulk goes 18 yards, and they do the dance.
Yeah, Robert Holcomb led up in the hole and pounded somebody pretty good also. Well, one thing for sure, Ray, if anybody out there believes that it's that these same old Rams are anything but the same old Rams, and they're missing the boat big time.
Jeff Wilkins adds the extra point, his 5th of the day, and it is now 35-10, St. Louis over Carolina. Marshall Faulk running touchdown, his 3rd touchdown on the ground.
Watch Holcomb lead up in here. You know, it's one thing to have ability to run. It's another thing to be able to cut off your block. He's got that good decision, but look at that hole.
Yeah, Orlando Pace.
We could go
nice
through
job
there.
Too.
Yeah, Pace doing a good job. Orlando Pace has gotten a lot better. He's put on a little weight. You know, he lost some of that quote-unquote baby fat that he had coming from college. Talking to Jim Hannafin, the offensive line coach. So that's been the difference for him. You know, he's turned into a pretty good left tackle in the league. Very young, just turned 24. That has a lot to do with it coming in early.
Pace in his 3rd year coming out of Ohio State. Top pick in the draft. That was an 8-play, 78-yard drive for the Rams, capped off by Marshall Faulk's 18-yard touchdown run, and Marshall Faulk doing what he's been doing, 137 total yards and that touchdown.
Like you say, 137 total yards. That's the key. You look at his numbers, you're not sure what's receiving yardage and what's rushing yardage. He splits it right down the middle.
Wilkins kicks it to Bates. Michael Bates changes field. There's a flag down as Bates doubles back and runs into a wall at the 23. It ends up to be an 18-yard return, but it is holding against Carolina. And Steve Bono will come in, relieve Steve Berline. He came in last week.
Holding, receiving team number 44, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Bono came in last week, but it was a different role last week. It was mop-up as Carolina had a 33-9 lead over Philadelphia, and they got Bono in there, played about 9 minutes in the final quarter. And he'd much rather come in under those circumstances than these, I believe.
Yeah, I was talking to Bono about Kurt Warner, and he was just really impressed with the way he's throwing the football, how relaxed he is back there. And that's kind of playing off of what I said earlier. You know, for a quarterback, these are so many things to think about. It's hard to be a good one. You've got a lot going on. And then the pressure every week, once you get good, the pressure doesn't seem to bother Kurt Warner from week to week.
William Floyd takes it up the middle on the handoff from Bono, who was with St. Louis last year. And one of the guys that he kind of tutored a little bit is Kurt Warner. And Warner used to pick Bono's brain. What do I have to do to be a starter in this league? How can I succeed in this league?
Well, the first thing is the other quarterback has to get hurt.
Exactly.
That's number one.
What you need is an opportunity, and when you get that, you really got to grab it and keep it.
And then everything else just happened right, too. Like I said, Isaac Bruce got healthy. Eddie, they get rid of Kennison, and then some new kids come in, and then everything just works right now.
William Floyd again, and that would be the last play of the game. They're going to let that clock wind down, and St. Louis goes to 7-2, and Carolina will drop now to 3-6. And San Francisco also lost. They are down to 3-6. So what you have here is a one-horse race. The St. Louis Rams in total command in the NFC West. And right now, we're going to throw it down to Pete Petersen. He's down on the sidelines with Kurt Warner. Pete?
All right, just another day at the office for Kurt Warner. A couple touchdowns to the offense back into sync after a couple of weeks where things didn't go quite your way.
Well, you know, we just wanted to come out and set the tempo early. I think we did that with our first drive, even though they came out and scored. But, you know, we answered that. We did a lot of good things the first half. Obviously, the defense came up with a couple big plays. And you know, really, the second half, we weren't out on the field very much. But you got to credit our defense. They played a great game today. Got a couple big turnovers, touchdowns. And so, you know, the offense kind of laid back a little bit and watched the defense go to work, and they played a great game.
Getting back into the home dome, that's always nice. No communication problems, didn't burn any unnecessary timeouts.
No, it's always nice to have these guys behind you instead of against you. And, you know, fans are great. They do a great job getting us pumped up and, you know, giving us momentum as we come back home.
Talk about the Warner brothers and what a job they've continued to do. The weapons continue to strike where you need them.
Well, they do. You know, we got guys that are going to make plays, and that's what it's all about. We're going out there, we're making plays every week, putting ourselves in positions to win. And we just got to continue to do that, continue to make the plays when they're there, and we're going to be in good shape the rest of the season.
All right, Kurt, thanks a lot. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Once again, Kurt Warner, just a couple more touchdowns, Ray. Another easy day at the office for him, apparently.
Yes, it was, Pete. Thank you very much. And the St. Louis Rams go out to 7-2, and they stop the bleeding after losing 2 on the road. They come back home, and it's home sweet home for St. Louis. And they win today by a final score of 35-10 over the Carolina Panthers. And this is Ray Bentley for Ron Pitts saying so long from St. Louis. Again, the final score, the Rams 35, the Panthers 10. Be sure to stay tuned for the second game of our doubleheader. For those of you in St. Louis, you will return to local programming. The rest of you will see either Detroit or Atlanta or Green Bay and Dallas right after these messages. And for more information on today's game and the latest NFL news, log on to foxsports.com. Thanks for watching.